Yeah, buddies. Trying to figure out the theme week right now. What is it? New York bands?
Oh, no. The theme week it's Spike Jones. The videos of Spike Jones week.
All right, so listen to the audios of the videos.
Exactly.
Of Spike Jones.
If you're persistent and you keep asking, it will eventually be Spike Jones week.
You got your Spike Jones week. This is the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Oh, hi.
We are live today. Lots to talk about in the world of comedy. How fast before we have the new Comedy Greats channel?
It's 3 days.
In 3 days.
That's right, Thursday.
And then this show station, Raw Dog, will be turned to Raw Dog Comedy Club.
Oh, I like it. Kind of a cool vibe.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool vibe. You'll just be listening to the Raw Dog Comedy Club, I guess, every day. I don't know.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the Comedy Club. How many in your party? 8? I'm going to have to put you at one long table with some strangers.
It is a 2-drink minimum, though.
And anytime you get up to piss, it's going to seem impossible because we pack them tight. But so many comedy stories up today on the iBang, and we'll get to all of them. The New York Comedy Fest has been announced, and Bill Burr is going to be playing Madison Square Garden for that one, which is pretty cool. Of course, the Pamela Adlon spinoff show from Louis, which I guess means those two don't live happily ever after. I'm going to give away a little, bit there. I don't think it's going to happen between them.
It's not going to work out.
But there's and the Stephen Colbert is taking over the old Letterman piece. And it really looks like they're downplaying Ed Sullivan Theater. It's only on one spot now in the front, not on both sides.
It's a very simple marquee. Is it temporary though?
I don't think so. I think that's his new logo.
Because when I saw it, I thought, oh, they just put this up for now.
No, it's not put up there with like paste or something. That's the real deal. And they've made the marquee white, right? It used to be, I guess they're going mod. I guess they want to mod this thing up since these are modern times. But that's, for New Yorkers, that's like a little shock to our system.
It looks,
just to see it change after all these years.
Yeah, it looks very weird.
I would have just left up the old marquee.
Yeah, why not? Everyone will know.
Everyone know that we're inside. Yeah.
They'll get it. They'll figure it out.
Well, there were people that were like, Letterman, they wanted to name it the David Letterman Theater years ago.
Yes, to switch it from Ed Sullivan to... Yeah.
And Dave said, no, not going to do it. But now it looks like they're getting closer. I think Stephen Colbert would love a Stephen Colbert Theater. And who cares about the ghost of Ed Sullivan?
But maybe he can name it the David Letterman. So you always, whoever's
next, yeah.
Pay it backward.
Mm-hmm.
That would just make me feel like if I was Letterman, I'm going to die any day now. I think it looks very temporary.
It does.
Like they're not 100% sure that they're not going to be changing that to, I don't know, the Amy Schumer Theater or something in a little while. She's hot right now. Let's give her the show. She's hot.
Who knows how this can go?
There's an article up on the iBang, though, that's pretty stunning, and I didn't realize in the world of comedy. It's called A Look Back at the Year That Changed Comedy and Why Things May Never Be the Same.
Oh, no.
Because we are 1 year ago since the Robin Williams death. But let's go over these things that happen in the world of comedy in a year. And then you guys come up with, you think the most important of these stories is, or the biggest change. You got the Robin Williams death, which over here just rocked us to our core. And then our friend Joan Rivers passed away less than a month later. And I believe went into the coma even like 10 days before that. So it was a very difficult thing. Then Bill Cosby, basically it all rained down on him, where it's just assumed that he's multiple rapist, sexual predator, even though it's never been proven, but everything's been taken on him. We lost the shows of Chelsea Handler, Craig Ferguson, David Letterman, Jon Stewart, as well as Colbert dropping the character and moving on. That seems crazy. And then Sony Pictures pulls the Seth Rogen movie, The Interview.
Yeah.
Which is meant that North Korea started dictating our comedies. This was an insane 1 year. Every one of those stories, gigantic, all happened in the world of comedy. Which one do you think is the biggest?
I would say the most devastating of all of them would be Robin Williams' death. I think that affected everybody, and I think he was just somebody we all thought we were going to have around.
Oh yeah, tonight we're replaying the award-winning special that we did last year, and that's 6 o'clock,
6 p.m. East.
6 p.m. We played it yesterday during while we were over doing Brian Regan Unmasked, which, by the way, was fantastic.
It was a blast.
You're all going to be looking forward to it. And a cavalcade of New York comics came out, and in a once in the history of the show, I turned over some of the questions at the end of the show to those comedians so that they could ask Brian how they too could be Brian Regan's. And it was funny and awkward and sweet and cool. And here's the odd thing. It meant the world to Brian. He was telling me after, he could not believe it.
Oh yeah. How could it not? It was like so sweet to have all these comics step forward who all of them were saying like, you're my favorite and I just want to be like you. I mean, it was really touching.
And established comics.
Yeah,
like guys that have done Letterman and Last Comic Standing and Conan. I'm going to guess Seth Meyers, but have done, these aren't like open mic guys.
Exactly, yeah.
These are guys with real true credits. One of the comedians who was there, I understand, won the Montreal Cartoon Contest.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
We're talking about heavy hitters here.
Big time.
Yeah. Big J brought that up to me yesterday.
He did.
He goes, your boy, I see right on the iBank, your boy sold a cartoon. How do you get to do something like that? I go, well, he won the contest. I don't know if he sold a cartoon. People are, buzzing around him now.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of interest.
And I had to go like this. Jay, you didn't make a cartoon. So you got the bonfire. What do you care? Let him have something.
I like that
everything.
He just opened it with, your boy Dan. You're like,
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's my boy. Where's me and Soda like have a cartoon? The bonfire the cartoon. But I didn't even see him until after. He came after.
Yes.
But Brian was so moved by that they were having him do a bunch of voiceover here. And he was saying to me, he was yelling at me, don't let the comedians leave. Because he was worried that they were going to leave while he was caught up in this backstage stuff. And he wanted to have the opportunity to go out there and just say thanks to all of them for showing up. He was really, really moved. Even Dennis Regan, Brian's brother, said, go, 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 go. He was enjoying the night too.
Yeah, he was having a good time.
Sure. We go, oh, and your brother Dennis is here. Where's he at? Nowhere to be seen. Sitting at the bar.
He's at the bar. Could not be found.
Didn't care about his brother the way total strangers did. And then Joe Bolster, who's a terrific comedian, was like, all right, Brian, we got to get in the van. Let's go. They were like a little mafia.
Yeah.
They were running like a mafia. All right. So you pick out of all those stories, the one that changes comedy, Robin Williams passing away.
I think it's Robin Williams, yeah.
What do you got, Chris?
I'm going to say it's Bill Cosby, and just seeing how deep this has gone with 35 women saying that he's, drugged and raped them.
Really, they don't even know if they were raped. They said they were too high to know. Just a drug, and then their pants were loose. I'm going to think this, though. Believe it or not, even though both those things are shocking, I don't think that they change comedy. But I think Sony Pictures dropping a comedy because North Korea is pissed, and this could lead to I think that changes comedy forever in film. Nothing can be edgy like that. First of all, these dictators, they don't get mad about all the James Bonds and the people running around acting like that they're setting up to blow up the world doesn't bother them. But jokes acting like they're effeminate bothers them very much.
Yeah, that story was so surreal, too. Like, it just, as it was happening, it was like, well, it's not really going to shut the actual picture down. I mean, that was pretty groundbreaking.
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. You felt like you were watching a Kubrick film. You know what I mean? You felt like you were watching a dark comedy, a farce. But it was real. And basically, those two stars haven't really come out and talked about it since then, have they? I mean, it was last summer it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they stayed on the down low because I know at a certain point they got just tons of security around them, which has got to feel weird.
Yeah.
You know, you're just a funny person, and now you need 8 people to go with you to the fucking Wawa to see if you can get yourself a lunchtime hoagie.
Sure. You want to get yourself a turkey shorty. You're going to need an entourage. You're
going to need people there like Obama does. You got to. They're saying to Seth, we're moving like Obama right now, and the fact that more people weren't outraged about that. Yeah. I mean, I guess people were, and they went and bought it on the internet or whatever. But that was a giant change,
and it's the kind of change that is big because it affects the money. Like, studios are going to be cautious after something like that happened. And it's going to be referenced anytime that somebody wants to make a big risk with a comedy or push the envelope. They're going to say, you're going to have to cut that if you want this up, or you're going to have to change the whole script because we won't touch it if it's like this. I mean,
and then, by the way, they normally do that anyway.
Right.
But this is taking it down to because executives were fired.
Right.
Executives were fired, and all their mean little emails went out into the world. Which I was like, you believe she said that? I'm like, everybody says shit like that about everybody.
They don't like Angelina Jolie.
If everybody knew what the bosses said about us and what we say about the bosses, we wouldn't be able to look at each other in the big Sirius XM cafeteria.
I know. Everybody's talking.
Yeah. I don't hear a word they're saying. Only the shadows in my mind.
I hope Spike Jones directed that song.
I'm going where the sun keeps shining in the pouring rain. What?
How?
Let's take a look at this because it doesn't make sense.
Hey, this song's great. There's just one part we're a little confused about.
Now, the other weird thing about all these stories is not even that they all happened in a year, but that they all happened this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's weird to me that Joan was like a year ago today just saying, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go have a little throat thing done. You know, Cosby was still Bill Cosby. The fact that, even Letterman on TV seems like a long time ago to me.
It does. And I think if you had one of those late night faces changing, but because there's so many, it's like there's so few people left. There's Jimmy Kimmel, and then
Jimmy Kimmel and Conan are the two that you'd have to say are true veterans of that time period. Jimmy Fallon is still fairly new at it, even though he's the number one guy. He hasn't been there that long. I mean, he hasn't really even been there that long to say, oh, he's established, even though he's pretty locked into that slot, and everybody's like, well, that's as smooth as it possibly went. That's only like a year and a half. It's not even 2 years.
Yeah, it was pretty fast.
I mean, can you believe like a year and a half ago, people were like, I'm doing Leno? That seems like, seriously, that seems like the craziest, oldest thing. That's like saying to me, I'm using Netscape.
It does feel like Leno hasn't been on in years.
Yeah.
Many, many years.
No, it does. It feels like, he's a guy who goes out to casinos on the weekends and plays for gray hairs.
Right.
Letterman just grows a beard, and I think he killed a wild boar the other day with a stick.
He's a hermit now.
But Letterman leaving should be the story of the year, hands down. And quite frankly, it comes in about, fourth or fifth. And if you're a Democrat or a liberal, losing Stewart and Colbert in the same year, because Colbert is not going to be like, oh, I'm worried about this election, he's going to be like, oh, we've got the third Kardashian sister out here tonight.
Right.
And the entire cast of Divergent is going to come on, and I'm going to play pinball against them. You know, he's going to be doing a silly late night show.
Right. You'll see some like light softball kind of.
Like all of them do. That,
you know.
It doesn't hurt anybody.
Trump jokes or something that.
This Trump is a real nut, isn't he, folks? I mean, what's that hair made out of? Fucking seaweed? Oh, we've got a great cast. We've got Shell from Divergent. Stop it out.
Shelly!
Oh, Army voice.
Shell!
Army man is here. And those things, you know, there's forgotten as quickly as they happen. No one cares.
Yeah, it's like it's a big deal for that week. And then after that,
gone.
everyone's like, oh, yeah.
It's gone. It's done. No one's sitting around a week later talking about the Tom Hanks movie. You know, it came out. It did $85 million. It's like, look at the Tom Cruise thing. Made a lot of money. I don't know a single person who's seen it. Mm-mm. Although I don't hang around with children. So maybe if I go to a playground, which I'm not supposed to.
Legally, you're not supposed to.
Or illegally. I mean, to both sides. Nobody's happy with that. But they... Maybe they saw it, but did you see it, Chris?
No, I didn't see it.
And you see every shit movie.
I love them. Love shit movies. Missed that one, though.
You want to get a website, just shit movie reviews.
I'm going to buy that URL.
Here's Dave in Tennessee.
Hey, Bennington. Another thing that could be mentioned is the Opie and Anthony thing happening.
That was a little over a year ago, right?
Yeah,
just a little over a year, but for some reason, that just seems like a few months ago to me.
Well, that's because you can still see him every day.
Yeah, that could be it.
I name-checked him during the Unmasked with Brian Regan. Got a nice
I heard that, yeah.
Got a very nice pop for him. And then me and Big J were talking about we're more comfortable with a table mic than we are lavalier.
Oh,
it's a very weird thing to not sit there and work your mic and have the lavalier mic like he uses now.
There's a comfort to like being able to like lean on it and move it around.
It's just something that you're used to. Maybe before, like if we would have come into the business just using lavalier like mics, we're like, I don't like leaning into that thing and talking into it. Seems stupid.
It also feels so exposed. Like it's like you can hide behind your mic a little bit.
That's the reason why they got rid of it, is because a lot of their viewers, not even listeners, their viewers were like, you had some pretty girl on and I can't even see half her face. You know, but everything changes. Although I know the day before I went on, Colin did the show and he put it down his shades and laid in his chair. So I don't think he knows he was being videoed. He was like this the whole time. Well, boss. Seinfeld directed it. Now, what are you going to do? He was on Seth Meyers last night. I almost said that he was on Seth Rollins, which would have been really weird.
That would have been strange.
Chris and his heavy metal pal were talking about that driving up today.
Oh, yeah.
But when I say driving up, I mean standing in an elevator. I don't know why that.
Cruising.
Driving up. Or cruising. But Colin just killed on there. Killed. So funny.
I believe it. He always kills.
I don't know. A lot of shows, it's awkward. A lot of shows, like I've seen him do like those morning shows.
Yeah.
And to me, he kills.
Right.
But to the host and the audience,
Sure.
They don't think so. Because they're like this, excuse me? Or you start to talk about one thing and then you double back and you brought up Artie Lang for some reason. That's what he'll do. Like you'll see him like Michael and Kelly and he'll be like, and then DePaulo, he's just standing there. DePaulo. No one ever he's doing. Two Mexican guys come in. I guess you're not allowed to say that. It's very funny. It's very funny to see him on a talk show, be heading in a direction, stop, and go back to something that isn't, decide that that's no good, get back to what were you saying, and just see their fear and confusion. But he's one of those people that makes me laugh maybe harder than anybody. I don't know what it is. Some people just got you. You know what I mean? Like they can just do, just start talking and they could even tell you something sad and you're still trying not to laugh.
Every time I've seen him do stand up, he just kills. And I'm always like on the floor. Always. Yeah. Every single time.
Well, you're not exactly a bad audience, though.
No.
You like your own laugh, No, a lot of times you're like a Chris Stanley, like you see him laughing, but his eyes are saying, what does that mean? And he's just looking back and forth going, everybody's laughing and just loving it.
I'm going to jump in.
Like a baby, like a baby.
Me too.
Yeah, like when a baby sees people laugh, they're just so joyful. Like, hey, we stopped acting. Everyone start not stupid now. This is great. Go back to laughing, everyone. But he was on there last night saying that he's not allowed back in Afghanistan. It's just so funny. I don't know. I thought they were the enemy. It was just killing me. So the Pamela Adlon show is now coming to FX. So this is the announcement that Louis kind of made over the weekend. I'm taking a break from the Louis show, but I'm producing 2 other shows. He just gets to do whatever he wants at FX. Yeah. So the person at FX says, I don't know, maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years. It's really up to him. We don't know how he feels.
He calls the shots.
I mean, TV has changed so much in my life. I remember when people had to do like 28 weeks. That's it. Now, I'm like watching this Human show. They just said the other day, next week is the finale. And I'm like, what? Finale?
Yeah, it happened fast.
I'm still trying to learn the names of the characters. Hey, what's up, Cam? What do you say, buddy?
Yeah, hey, I thought one positive in the year in comedy that might bode well for the future was Comedy Central riding out those Trevor Noah controversy.
Was it that controversial, though, Cam?
I think people tried to make it that controversial, and I think they did what we want people to do, is just not address it, let it run its course and die.
Well, see, the thing is, I don't think they were in any place to do this.
Right.
I mean, talk about guys who come across as blindsided. You know what I mean? They've got, just on Comedy Central, basically basic cable, these 2 giants got built that more or less not only took over their time slot and all, but really became important in Washington and New York and LA, with trendsetters. So now they got 2 guys that really are fairly unknown. I mean, Larry Wilmore is still very unknown.
Yeah.
And Trevor Noah, I guess he's big in Johannesburg. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I think if you went to Johannesburg, it's big. But they're handing him this show, which, to me, is fascinating to see what and how he does with it.
Yeah, I think it could be very exciting, but it's definitely a thing where he's gonna have to win people over. Like I don't think it's a short.
Yeah, it's not going to be Jon Stewart. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean anyone would have a problem filling in for somebody who is like that established and that loved, and
that's even if you put somebody else established and loved in there.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd still get hammered. I remember when Colbert spin off to do his show, right? I go, that's the stupidest idea I ever said. Right? I go, mark this down. You can't sustain a character like that. And then he was doing it, and it was very funny. And I'm like, this is great. I'll give him 8 months before he just falls into a puddle. But good, have your 8-month run. And now I have to admit, he was wrong. He could do it. He could pull it off. But now that he's dropping the character and going over the show him like this, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. Don't do it.
I know, it's scary. It's like he has to reintroduce himself, and I'm thinking an entirely different type of sense of humor, because Colbert, the character, was very cocky, kind of dry, and I think that Colbert is in actuality a lot sillier. Like I think he's a little sillier and more like fun loving.
Really?
I get that impression.
But we know he doesn't break. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people who don't break, I think they're more into their own control, more than being fun loving. Like, you are a fun loving person. And I'm more like, oh, that's fun. Those people are laughing. Good, I can rest for a second. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I wish I could laugh along with them. I just can't.
I don't have it in me.
I've got a schedule in front of me that I've got to keep to. Everything in here that should count is dark. I don't know whether you've watched any vampire movies, but it's like that, except for I don't bite people.
How do you live?
I'd rather, well, I don't live on blood, but I do like to sleep during the day, and garlic makes me back up. Out of all the dumb vampire things, you couldn't get any stupider than come in with, well, what about oregano? Did anybody throw oregano at a vampire? Garlic?
Yeah,
How
garlic's
did that
just-
fucking get to somebody?
The shallot. Is that bad for him?
And a stake through the heart is better than a spike through the heart.
Yeah, stake through the heart is bad for anyone. I don't know why. What makes?
But then a bullet through the heart doesn't bother them.
No,
They're
that's
like, oh,
fine.
this isn't fucking wood. Oh, good. I'm fine then. Now, the crucifix that burns them, yeah, that should work that
Yeah,
way.
holy water.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But here's the weird thing about Christ and holy water in there. There's no vampires in the Bible. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't even back up the devil by putting up a crucifix.
No.
So the vampires, who basically I would imagine came on after Christ, because you never see any pre-Christian vampires. They act like they're involved with Jesus, but they're not at all.
Yeah, and I don't think that they've ever really stated any direct ties to Satan either. Like, I don't remember any vampires being like, my
No.
allegiance is with Satan.
No, it should be.
A lot of them are seem like they're victims.
Many of them, to me, seem also like they're agnostic.
Right.
I don't see prayer or spirituality
Sure.
in the vampire world. I do see fantastic style.
Great style.
I think you could easily put out a movie called The Fat Vampire and just confuse everyone. Because I'm sure some fat people were bit, but then do they suddenly?
I think they slim down and get a little more youthful.
I've never seen it happen that way.
Oh, they
Yeah, if
stay
you-
the same.
If you bite a victim and they're 87 and they become a vampire, they're not an old vampire. They get youthful.
I think they get youthful for their age. Like, I don't think that
Oh,
they just
okay.
turn 16, but I think they're like a really good
Spry.
80. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
right.
spry 87.
Like the skin clears up
Right,
and
as
stuff.
long as they got blood in them.
Right.
I was it Jim Jarmusch that did that? The last People in Love or something?
Yeah, it was Jim
a vampire.
Jarmusch, yeah.
And they got very junky sick. They got dope sick when they didn't get enough blood.
Right.
And then they had some weird thing that there was tainted blood. They're like they couldn't have all the blood these
Right.
days.
Like if it was a STD situation.
Well, it was STD, and I even think junk food. I don't think that they could bite anybody
Right.
with high cholesterol. And I'm like, I can't follow all these vampire
so many
fucking rules
rules.
anymore. There's too many rules of the Vampire Nation.
And then everyone has to always throw one in. Like they're like, also in our version,
Right.
vampires do this. Like in the Twilight, they all sparkle.
What?
They sparkle in the sun. They don't.
They
don't.
sparkle in the sun instead of dying.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Well, the other thing is, I never saw a vampire movie where they get along with werewolves. And that'd be, if I was a vampire, I'd say day one, look, we're in this together, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't like you, they don't like me. Obviously I bite people, you bite people, but in a different fashion.
right.
Why can't we be friends? Let's start a fucking gang. Vampires and werewolves. But you can't trust the fucking werewolf, because the second they're not a wolf, they're all regretful about it. Shit.
Right. Because they're like mad dog. Like they're like,
Right.
what have I done?
Why? Tie me up the next full moon. There's another stupid thing. It's like, oh my God, there's one sliver of the moon left. And at that point, I really start to dog out on everyone. Can you believe there's a blue moon this month? That's 2 days this month I'm working. Oh, wait. Let me check the lunar cycle. No, I can't be at your party that night.
Damn it.
If I go there, I'll start biting everybody.
I mean, I can go. It's up to you.
And then other times I play basketball and ride on top of a fucking truck.
Yes.
And everybody likes me. Then just my anger or basketball turns me into a werewolf.
When someone takes their D out on the basketball court.
There may never be a movie that's so awful that is as beloved as that one.
It is beloved, yeah.
Not by me, though. I'm going to tell you another movie that people love, and I've never loved. It's Airplane.
Really?
I think it's as stupid as any of the ones they do now.
Right.
They just find it to be dumb.
I saw it, I think, too late in life, that it was maybe too silly to me, but I thought, if I had seen this when I was a little younger.
Well, when it came out, there weren't a million movies like that, so
Right.
people just were crazy about it. But I got to tell you the truth. Go back and watch it. I don't think you're going to be laughing at a lot of shit. Now, if you saw it when you were young, yeah, you're still going to be like, isn't this great?
Right. Remember.
Yeah, because you were laughing when you were 4. Adam in California.
Hey, used to watch that Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show. How come every time somebody turned into a vampire, they were like Jackie Chan? They had like black belt skills.
Well, you're a vampire. You live a long time. You're certainly going to have time to train yourself in martial arts.
Like I said, I think you get a little bit of a little strength. It makes you a little extra.
I see.
Well, I know you have the speed.
Yeah.
And you have more power than you ever had before. But his point is that doesn't necessarily mean that you learn all the moves,
Right.
the basic moves of karate. Connor in Michigan.
What's up, man?
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? The way they get that agility and everything is when you drink the blood of a youthful person, say someone who's like 20, 21, 22.
Oogie Boogie Avenue.
The youthfulness, it speeds up that process. So you'll get like younger quicker, and then you'll get the speed quicker and everything. But also with that, when you drink that youthful blood, you have to stick with the youthful blood. So you got to keep drinking it. So it's a catch-22. You know what I mean?
No, I bet you haven't even read the book. So you're saying,
I'm not.
You're better off drinking middle-aged blood, and that way, as soon as you have the youthful blood, you can't drink the middle-aged blood anymore.
Well, I mean, you could still drink the middle-aged blood, but it's not going to make you as youthful as the younger blood did. So
right.
you'd be like older, kind of. You know what I mean?
All right, so here's what's happening. You bite a baby's neck, right?
Yeah.
Do you end up shitting your pants? That's what I'm asking.
Because that's too far.
You end up shitting your pants.
Yeah, because now you're acting like a baby, and then you're laughing if you see a fucking Jack in the Box. You know?
Oh no, you're not gonna turn into a fucking baby.
It seems like you're turning into a baby. The way you're going with this, Connor.
It's not Benjamin Button. You know what I mean? You're not like regressing into like a baby or anything like that.
Connor, when you came on, I felt like, oh, this guy knows a lot about vampires. But you took us down a whole Benjamin Button path that surprised me.
The Benjamin Button fact?
Yeah.
It took you for a loop, didn't it?
All right, buddy. There he goes. So what he's saying is like any good drug, it's like this. If you do something that's really pure, you can't go back to that fucking stepped up a fucking Astoria
Right.
Coke. You know what I mean? You gotta have that fresh off the fucking boat Miami. You know, this is always funny in a meeting. This will come up. And it'll always piss people off. And he'll be like, I was a cocaine addict. Back when cocaine was really cocaine, not this shit
Right.
kids are doing today. And you always see guys, you see the fucking shoulders go back. Like, I'm fucking a little tired of hearing about your fucking Miami Vice bullshit. There's some really pure coke out there now.
Yes, Gail?
But they'll go out of their way to act like today's drugs are nothing.
Right.
No matter what it was. I mean, when I did acid, and this was 4-way, not this fucking fish stepped on trip for 2.5 hours and wonder if you're high shit. It's so weird that people will brag about the power, just like they brag about the music when they were in high school.
Yeah.
They also brag about the drugs when they were in high school.
It's also funny because it sounds like you need a little more work, because that's really romanticizing something that shouldn't be. You're like, it was really good though.
But romanticizing is part of it. Is like, even if you had a crazy, chaotic relationship, people will always tell you, but the sex was amazing.
Right.
Why do you gotta go to that place? But let me tell you, the sex was out of this fucking world.
Oh, yeah.
Not like the sex these kids have today.
Yeah. She was a real freak nasty.
Yeah. I can't wait to fucking Freak Nasty drops Joe like a fucking hot potato. Because then he'll have nothing.
Yeah. She gets wind of this.
Zero.
Nothing at all.
I don't even think she's real. I think that he took her off a fucking website, and that's the end of it.
Ordered.
Excuse me?
Said ordered her on a
Ordered
website.
her.
Yeah.
There's still people complaining about Friday's Bennington on-demand thing, Chris. Who can be in charge of checking on the on-demand stuff?
Joe checked it on Friday. Said it was there.
It's there.
It's there. You have to go to Opie Radio. It's on Opie's, not Raw Dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what people are doing wrong.
It's called Bennington on Opie.
That sounds a little uncomfortable for everybody involved there.
Probably.
Here's a little spy report for you I heard this morning.
Spy report.
It seems that Mr. Chris Guest has signed a deal with Netflix to do a movie with the kids at Netflix.
Nice.
Now, I don't know if that means it goes directly to Netflix or it has some kind of limited run and then comes out a month later. Quite frankly, I don't understand how the Netflix thing works.
Yeah, I think the way that it's been done so far is that it has like a directly like released to Netflix right away.
Well, so far, because they haven't really been movies, but is that Adam Sandler's going to get a little theater run?
As far as I don't know, it goes straight to Netflix, and that's the release. Like, that's the release. It just goes on Netflix. No theater run. It's exclusive Netflix content. I don't know if I like
that as much.
Because it doesn't feel as big. You feel like you need a theater run.
Well, I just feel like, okay, he's... I just come up that, obviously, Chris doesn't read the iBank, is what was said to me. No, he wasn't. He was reading off of something else. Because he doesn't have any loyalty to the iBank.
Well, of course I do.
Where's your loyalty?
Well, then why don't you go find out the truth, that there will be a theater run.
I'm finding it out now.
See, then that means that you didn't go there first. You were at usatoday.com like every other grandmother. Is USA Today on there? Well, why can't I fold it? But look, let's face it. If you're in Omaha, you're not going to get it released to a theater near you.
Right. It's not going to go to you.
It's not going to happen that way. Sorry, Omaha. But Counting Crows did write a little song about you, so enjoy it. You got something going your way. By the way, he wrote that song and never went to Omaha.
Really?
He's like, well, I kind of know what it's like. I've been to other fucking shitty small towns. You know? So I pretty
Close enough.
Yeah. But I feel like I could write a book about some place I've never been to. I wrote a book called Life in Okinawa.
Really?
Yeah. You probably haven't read it yet because I wrote it in Japanese.
Yeah, I haven't read it.
Well, my version of Japanese. I hope it comes out as Japanese. It looks a lot like it.
We're going to get a translation or?
I don't know anybody who speaks both languages. I think... I'll say this. If you know two languages, there's one that you're really bad at. I'll just put it that way. You're not really good at both languages.
You don't realize it, but
how do you say store? You ever know people like that? I know a lot of them in New York. And they're just going along, you feel like they're trying to say something. And he had small horse with him. Small horse, or like a dog? Dorlog. You're like, you know what? Why don't you just speak in fucking Russian? Because it'll be just as easy for me to try to figure out what you're saying. Because you're English or English, as she says over there. You buy. You take, you buy.
No.
I had some kind of Eastern European guy who used to fix shoes on my street. And one day I'm fucking walking down the street. He just comes running out with a pair of these, it really looked like hard black, fucking made out of cardboard Eastern European. You take, you buy, you take. I'm like, dude, what do you see? I'm wearing shoes, right? When I fucking want a pair of shoes, I'll go in your fucking store and buy them. I start giving them shit. I don't know how you do things, but you know what I mean? We don't just grab people on the fucking street.
No.
You don't even, I haven't even sat down. You haven't sized up my foot. So I go home, I tell this story. I go, you know what? Next time I see that guy, I might give him a fucking smack out of nowhere. I walked by the store the other day and I'm like, I mean, the next day after, I'm like, I hope he fucking runs out and tries to sell me shoes in the street. He had a fucking out of bankruptcy thing.
Oh, no.
It was like he had a crazy meltdown, was just trying to fucking do anything.
Sling shoes.
Yeah, he owed money, so he was just running out of people in the street. And I was like, why didn't I buy those fucking shoes from that dude? What is it about me, you know? And I go like this. It's basically like Jesus for a token dime. You know what I mean? Like they always say, like if a homeless person asks you for a buck, that's Jesus asking you for a buck, right?
Right.
And I'd be like this, Jesus, I don't have any money on me right now.
I don't have it.
And he'd be like, I can see right through your wallet. You got fucking $96 right now. Yeah, but this is all going somewhere, Jesus.
Like I already have plans for these.
Yeah. I'm using that for fucking snack food. You don't understand. I like to buy a lot of snacks. And I dip my cookies. So that's extra. But you ever feel that way? Like, you ever watch one of those movies and like there's like some beggar, but it's really, you know, like a holy person.
Yeah.
You know, and if you give them the dollar, suddenly good things will happen to you because they say. But I had this weird thing with homeless people, and particularly here in Midtown, when they like ask me for money, I'm like, I fucking live here, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like you. I'm a New Yorker like you. Both of us will hit the tour stop for something later. But this is me. I'm here. I'm already, like, here's the difference between me and you. I'm fucking paying ridiculous fucking rent right now. Ridiculous. All right? You don't have that kind of overhead. Plus, there's electric, there's water, there's insurance. I'm not going to get into it with you.
You wouldn't understand.
But some days I look at you like laying next to a church and like, not too bad. You know, somebody from the church is going to give you a burger. You know? They all like to lay on church steps.
Yeah. Well, they don't get shooed away is why. Just let them sleep.
Yeah, but it's overnight. You know what I mean? Like the bank is closed at night. Why don't you lay there? Lay on their steps for a while. I try to find something other than steps. I was homeless.
I know. It's not enough room. Can't spread out.
Yeah, I'd certainly want to. And I'd be pushing a bed around because I can't sleep on a hard thing. I'd be like, I'm just pushing this hospital bed. I found it outside the hospital.
That's great because then it doubles as a couch. You know, you could use it for a lot of things. It doesn't have to just be bed.
Well, you know, the homeless people in movies, they're interacting with people and stuff like that. Like even in that train wreck movie, it was Chappelle. I think all he did was put his hat on backwards. But other than that, was basically, you know, he was witty. He was paying attention to her, what's coming and going.
Oh, Attell, yeah.
Oh, who did I say?
Chappelle.
I know it is a Tell name.
It's totally a Tell.
It was William. No, I thought it was William Tell. That's who I thought it was eventually. Well, thank you for correcting me. Chris is like this. I must have saw it wrong. He saw a different movie with me. But you're not going to get that kind of homeless guy. A guy who's paying attention to your dating life.
It's very rare.
Normally, it's a guy laying there and out in front of your house, and then when you're walking out, he goes like this. You know, you never get that situation where he's going, I noticed, I've been watching your life going back and forth and smoking a lot.
He's good for you, you know that?
Yeah, no one's ever brought up, like, you know what, call her back. I'm a homeless guy, but I got wisdom for you.
God, he's so scary. Get back on your step.
All right. Stop shitting. I don't mind you sleeping out here, but don't start shitting. Yeah, a lot of the times they act like you're in their area. The homeless guy will. Like, hey, you're getting too close to my stuff.
This is my stuff.
Man, but your stuff shouldn't be here.
It's a public area.
Caitlin.
Yeah. I was just calling in. I was to tell you something that happened when I was a kid about the vampires. My neighbor, she used to go to vampire conventions in Europe, and she would get to have interviews with real vampires, quote unquote.
Why would someone go to a vampire convention? It doesn't seem like if they were real vampires, they'd go to a convention.
It would not.
Yeah, because they'd be worried about villagers chasing them with torches.
They would not reveal themselves.
I don't know. They just, I guess, it's a way to make a buck or two.
Yeah, but what do you need a buck or two to bite people on the neck?
These are people that just drink blood.
Yeah. So you had a neighbor, you were a little kid, they were an adult, and they were obsessed with vampires.
I never really talked to her. Like, it was my brother who told me that she was just kind of chatting with him and told him about how she just got back from Europe and she has to meet real life vampires at this convention. This family is just always been a little off the wall. Like, we've always thought that these people have bodies buried in their backyard or something.
But yeah, let's go back to Jump Street. I'm just going to point this out to you, and now you can know from this point on. Big brothers lie. My big brother lied to me, and then when I was a big brother, I lied to my little sister. You tell them things that terrify them.
Because, like, he was telling this, like, to my parents as well. Like, it was like...
Yeah, they lie to parents, too. I mean, a teen boy is a liar.
I mean, he could have been, but I really honestly don't think he was. Like, these people are known to be really odd. And, like, I really 100% believe that she told him this.
Yeah, spoken like a little sister. That's what I say.
I believe him so much.
Yeah. You believe in everything that he says?
I've gotten wiser over the years.
Okay, you better. Where are you from, Caitlin?
I'm from the St. Louis
area. So you're not in St. Louis proper.
No, I mean, like, I'm from Alton, Illinois. It's a little, like, nothing town, but...
You know what? Don't run your town down. It's a nice town, all right? You got some nice friends there. You made a life for yourself.
I mean, they're rioting all over the place.
All right, I see what you're saying, racial.
Okay.
But why don't you say this? Like,
Why do I...
Like
Why
every
do I say
summer,
they're
you're like
rioting?
this. Every summer, this is our family. Hey, we got to take a trip in to see the Arch. You know what I mean? Like
every year.
Yeah, every year we like to go see the Arch.
Oh, yeah? I've only actually been to the Arch, like, one time my entire life. It's a very touristy kind of thing to do, I guess.
You got to be kidding me. What else is there to do in St. Louis when you go into the big town? What do you do? Cards game?
There is, I mean, if you're a baseball fan,
Yeah.
Busch Stadium.
Gotcha.
If you have to try or Ebo's Pizza. Like, if you go to St. Louis, you have to get Ebo's Pizza.
What's the first name?
My name's Caitlin.
No, what's the first name of the pizza?
Oh, I'm sorry, Emo's.
Emos, like Emo Phillips. That's where we finally ended
it's
up.
like, they call it the Square Beyond Compare. It's like one of the best pizzas you'll ever have.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, and that's why it's in the Midwest where there's no Italians. Chris, get us a picture of what their pizza looks like.
Twitter?
I think they cut it in a very weird way.
They do a strange shape.
Yeah, they do it in a square. But if you go to, like...
Yeah, but it's a circle and a square.
They cut them in squares. But, like, I think, like, Domino's or, like, even, like, I used to work at Little Caesars when I was younger.
Sweet.
And, no, not sweet. It was horrible. But they...
I avoid the Noid.
What?
So I like them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The thin crust, like, you cut it in squares there, too. So I don't know if I
Do yourself a favor, cut it in a slice. That way you're going to get crust with every pizza. You were going to get some pizza without a crust.
I know.
It's thick crust. It's still, like, it's crispy all over the place.
Yeah, unless I get one in the middle.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, like, some people like the softer pieces. Sometimes I like the softer pieces. Like,
What, you got bad teeth?
Yeah, variety.
Caitlin, what's wrong with your teeth?
A variety doesn't mean you're not getting some. A variety means there'll be different kinds of crust.
Actually, I don't think there's any crust. Look at the sides.
Yeah, the cheese runs to the outside.
There's, like, a little bit of crust. Like, I mean, it depends on, like, how they put the sauce with the pizza. Like, if they spread it out evenly or not. But there's a little bit of crust. It gets, like, crunchier on the edges.
Yeah, I can't eat that way. You know,
It's good.
here's what they do up in Montreal, right? I go, give me a slice of that cheese. They go, that's pepperoni. I go, there's no fucking pepperoni on there. They go, the pepperoni's under the cheese. I go, then how does it get crisp? They go, man, it's nice and soggy. You know, sometimes you like soggy pepperoni. I was just fucking give it to me because I'm in a hurry. But I'm a little upset with this. I go, I'd rather be in fucking St. Louis, not getting any crust.
I mean, like, I don't know. I personally like that there's very little crust. I mean, it's a crunchy pizza. I promise you it's a crunchy pizza. And
You promise.
She vowed to you.
Yeah. But she also believes her brother that there's vampires next door.
You know what? I'll have him call up here. And
No, you know what? Just you're the only one in the family I want to talk to from this point on. I don't trust the rest of them. So, what's the name of your little town that you said there's a lot of rioting?
I mean, like, it's not my town. I mean, like, Alton, I'm actually, right now I'm traveling from Gainesville, Florida, back to St. Louis. I'm moving back, from college.
Mm-hmm.
But my friends have been texting me and telling me that there's been protesting going on because it's been, like, the year for Michael Brown or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, like, there's, I guess, some other guy got shot or something. But, like, honestly, like, the crime there is so bad. Like, what did they expect? It's like St. Louis is, like, tied for the crime capital of the U.S. with Detroit.
It's tied. Right now, it's tied. There's going to be a playoff game to see who goes in.
You hope you win.
They're battling to see who could have the most murders.
But, you know, you got East St. Louis there, and they take up, you know, most of it, right?
I mean, like, East St. Louis is, like, another city, but East St. Louis is terrible. But there's, like, parts all over St. Louis, so it's just, like, you want to stay out of that area.
So you're a Gator, huh?
Yes, I am.
How's your football team going to do this year?
Well, I mean, like, I just graduated, so
Right, so you no longer care. Because one thing we know about college kids is, you know, she's quite the contrarian. Whatever I ask, she goes in the exact opposite way. She's like, I'm drinking a milkshake right now. Oh, you're drinking a milkshake? Well, it's not really a milkshake. There's something about you, Caitlin. You just want to twist it just a little bit.
I mean, it keeps it interesting.
What's your major, sweetie?
Economics.
Yeah.
I'm going to law school, though.
Really?
Planned on it.
Yeah, I'm planning on it. But see, now she changed it. So I'm like, yeah, you're going to law school. Well, not really, Ron. You're jumping the gun on me.
Did I say law school?
Yeah. I can't see you ever getting married because do you take this man? Not take him. No. In that sense, no.
Here.
I don't want to make mistakes.
Right. Well,
sickness and health? Sickness, I don't know. Health, sure.
I like a healthy person, if I'm going to be totally honest. What kind of sickness are we talking about? Like, I don't mind if they've got a small flu. But why is everybody wearing the 6 thing, too? Who's ever... Would you say that was Nelly up there?
That was Nelly, yeah.
But now I see a lot of people wearing the same kind of uniforms.
I'll look into the uniform thing. I don't know anything about the uniform.
You're like Caitlin. You're like my Caitlin.
Flip-flopping.
Yeah. All right, Caitlin, I'm going to hang up on you, okay?
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, she's a contrarian, that Caitlin.
I don't know about that no crust.
No, that goes without saying. That ain't happening.
Like a Frisbee, that pizza.
Excuse me, can you bring me back another pizza sliced properly so we're not here fighting over crust? Some people got no crust. Some people just like, hey, 80% of the slice is crust. That's not what I'm looking for either.
I'd be very upset to get that middle piece.
Yeah, but I don't even think you want an end piece where like there's 2 bites of cheese and then you're just dealing with crust too. It's not like it's a square pizza. They're saying it's a square, but it's not.
No, it's a round
pizza.
It's a round pizza, cut improperly.
Shelby used to live out in that hell town. He had 3 towns that he grew up in:
right.
Portland, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh.
Where was he from? Like, mostly, where was he originally from?
You know,
Portland.
Let's just say biological didn't bother. I'll give him into that.
Right.
And in his case, biological mother. So he would fly back. I think he was born in Portland, raised in St. Louis, and then graduated in Pittsburgh.
Right. Man of many towns.
Yeah, none of them exciting. Not one of them, you know. You never hear people going like this. Oh, God, I miss St. Louis.
You gotta
love it.
You got to get to Pittsburgh.
Well, what's really weird, you think of St. Louis. Wait, there goes V by.
There's V. Sweet V.
Never long gone. Why don't we break here, Chris? We'll be right back in just a second. It is the Bennington Show. You know, I want to talk to you a little bit about Tito's handmade vodka. Not only is it America's original craft vodka, but I also think it's one of those stories where you can see things can still happen in America. I met Tito Beveridge. I had him on this show, and I heard how he went from just being a guy actually had failed in a couple of businesses, or at least occupations. But in 1995, after making some vodka for some friends, and people are like, dude, this vodka is so good. You should be selling it. His story is an amazing one. Where, you do one of those deals where it's credit card debt, and then he's got to not only make the vodka, but get it out in the stores, get it to the people, and not have any marketing. And the vodka was so good, so enjoyable, that the people themselves found it. And mainly it was word of mouth and him going around from town to town selling it. You'd think these kind of things don't happen anymore, but they do. And I'm always happy to support that kind of business. When you're going out and having a vodka, you can say to yourself, here's an American product made by a guy from Austin who went up against the big companies and the established brands from Poland and Russia, and even some of these high-end brands that, for some reason, they talk the hip-hop guys into, spending extra for, so they can think they're a big deal while they're blowing their fortune. But to me, you go out, you have a Tito's vodka, it's simple, label on it, and you say to yourself, not only am I going to sit here and have this, but I'm going to think about my life a little bit. I'm going to think of my Tito's moment. We've talked about your Tito's moment before where you're like, I'm going to stop what I've been doing, working for the men. Is there something I feel passionate about that I could go out and do myself? And that's what people think about when they sit down and drink a Tito. So next time you're getting together with your buddies, grab a Tito's and say to each other, seriously, what's your Tito's moment? What do you want to do with the rest of your life? If you knew you weren't going to fail, or if you cared about it enough, you wouldn't care whether you failed or not, what would you do? What would you pick for a profession? How would you like to spend your time every day? That's what Tito Beverage did. And you can go over, tip back at Tito's and think to yourself, that's one man's vision. That's one man's dream. What's my dream? Click track.
Tito's handmade vodka is distilled 6 times from 100% corn and is naturally gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, songs, and more. 40% alcohol by volume, handcrafted to be savored responsibly.
It's the Bennington Show, or as Chris called it earlier, Bangton.
Bangton Show.
You've put up a thing on the iBang today, Gail, saying that a woman has been spotted on Mars.
A ghostly female figure spotted on Mars by the Mars rover, and it's really weird. It has the internet abuzz right now with theories. But when you look at the blown up version, it really looks like...
she was exploded?
No.
Drone attack?
But look at it.
It looks like a woman looking out, maybe looking to see if somebody's coming back.
I know, looking out longingly. Hair wisping. Very busty, by the way.
Well, that's how they like them on Mars. Big breasts. But I will say this. First of all, she looks like Brandy from the TV, from the song Brandy, waiting if the sailors are coming in. But I am 100% sure that is some kind of a humanoid creature.
Oh, yeah.
I have no doubts now.
Doubt. And there's some videos up where people are giving their theories. And if you look just behind her, there's this like structure, and they think that that's her alien, her Martian home. And then there's somewhere off to the left, you can see something that looks like almost like a little manhole cover, like she has a way to peek up through there.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then they're showing, look, those are tracks. That's her walking back and forth between there. They are all over it.
I'm looking this over, and I'm running some tests on it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can see, like you said, she's big-breasted, mousy hair.
Mm-hmm. Brunette, clearly.
And it looks like her mummy is telling her no, but her daddy has told her to go. Her friends are nowhere to be seen. Boy, wouldn't you be running for the song right now if you're in Chris's position? But that's the thing. He'll tap when we're having a conversation. But we have discovered, and by we, I mean Netscape on the internet
Yes.
has discovered life on Mars.
It is real.
Israel.
It's Israel. She didn't see
I
you.
was trying to wave her in.
She didn't see.
Boy, can't find that song, huh? We'll move on from it.
Well, people just a couple weeks ago were convinced that there was a giant, like, crab alien. But now they're all in. They're like, no, we were wrong about the big crab alien. That was just a rock. This is real.
This is actually them.
This is a signal they picked up.
Now, here's the thing. We'll probably never go to Mars to find this out ourselves.
No.
But children that are alive today will. Like your cousins. Okay?
Yes.
Do you have any cousins young enough that by the time we start Martian traveling, they'll be able to go?
Yes, I think for sure I could see Vincent living life on Mars.
You honestly think he would go to Mars, though?
I think that Vincent would go to Mars.
That's weird.
Now, my question is, would his sister, Maria Bella, would she follow?
I'll tell you this, not if they keep getting along the way they are now. They're going to have to be better behaved.
It's a long ride to Mars.
Well, they like those dancing games. I get videos about them dancing back and forth.
Oh, definitely.
Now,
also, their work with Minecraft, I think, really makes me think that they could do some really solid building on Mars.
See, I don't know
Design.
if Minecraft leads to actual building, if I want to be totally honest.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen a 3D in real life Minecraft building, or
Not
they
yet.
just sit around tapping into that? Plus, are they Minecrafting or are they doing that dance? And this is the weird thing. I think Vincent is a better dancer than Maria
Really?
right now. He throws himself into it. He follows the steps. From what I've seen on videos, she tends to go off and do her own thing.
Yeah, I think that she has a skill there, whereas
Skill set.
she has a skill set. Vincent has a free nature.
Well, I was going to
He's
say
improving every moment.
I was going to say just the opposite. I think she's an improv. I think she'll be one to break it into a twerk, where I see him going step by step.
You see him learning the
But
techniques.
I don't know if I'd even want to travel to other planets the way these children that are alive today are going to have to do. Here's the thing. If you're a kid today, you're going to have to travel, interplanetary travel.
Definitely.
And you're probably also going to have to time travel.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to get out of that. You'll be traveling back to other times.
And it'll be weird. If you're a person who's like, oh, I don't time travel, you'll be left behind.
Oh, I don't. At this point, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little afraid of it. And when I get to the time travel port, I'm like, I don't know if I can get out of the car. And everyone's like, it's safer than being in the car. And I go, what? You ever see that? Like, as soon as... That was from before. As soon as we're traveling to an airport and someone says, you know what, you're more likely to, have trouble in a car than an airplane, I go like this. You better pull over then, and I'm going to walk. And
I
they
don't
go,
get out of this.
The most dangerous thing you could do is walk down a highway.
Then get the plane here. Can it just
Can't
meet
do
me here?
everything. Yeah. But these children today, first of all, they're going to have robots as pets.
Definitely.
And probably boyfriends and girlfriends.
Boyfriend robots, girlfriend robots, you think? Yeah. For sure.
Now, here's the thing, too. If you look at that and you say to yourself, because there's a new thing that came out that said you'll be able to get to the moon in 90 minutes, right?
90?
Yeah. 90 minutes from planet Earth to the moon.
That also sounds like you're going to be moving at a very uncomfortable speed.
Aren't all speeds? Like when you're in an airplane, you're going 500 miles an hour.
Right, true.
And believe me, you're like, hurry up. Can't this thing go 1,000? 2,000? You ever fly with kids?
No, I've never flown with I've been a child on a plane, but I have never.
You have. Well, they turned that plane down around the other day because the kid was bad and went to sit on his mom's lap. and when they took it off the plane, all the adults clapped. And that's the thing. I understand it, but it's like you used to be a kid.
Yeah.
You think you would never give up on children since we've all been children before.
They have no connection.
Were you a big dancer like Maria and Vincent when you were little?
Oh, yeah. I love to dance.
I never thought you were very good at it.
What? I mean, did you see the video I made to B-52's Rome? I mean, it was pretty good.
I'll put it up on the internet tomorrow. If you want to brag about it, we'll have a vote.
Oh, no.
We'll have a vote off.
I hope it's well received.
Hold on. This is a guy who says he's seen a video about people that were know for a fact there's life on Mars.
Hello?
Yes. Your name?
My name's Louis. Yeah. And you guys didn't mention it, but there's actually audio of that woman on Mars. And in the audio, all she says is, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi."
All right, I will tell you this, since we were talking about Maria, Bella, and Vincent, their father, RJ, when he was little. All right, you know that song, Facts of Life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know it, Chris?
Yeah.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take a mom, and you have
the facts of life.
The facts of life. Well, RJ would be singing this. Obi-Wan Kenobi and the facts of life. The facts of life. And he was always trying to sing along with it, and no one would correct it because we wanted him to still keep sounding ridiculous. We wanted him to still sound ridiculous. And I think, if I'm remembering this properly, he and Michelle used to walk around in a circle like this.
Right.
Obi-Wan Kenobi and the facts of life.
I don't even know how you get Obi-Wan Kenobi out of that.
Who knows? All you got to do is mishear lyrics once.
Yeah, and then you'll
keep singing them while the other lyrics the correct lyrics are playing, and you never figure it out.
Yeah, you just keep singing louder than the actual song.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm right.
I've done it myself. I've never went as far as singing Obi-Wan Kenobi in the facts of life. That's ridiculous. But the thing is like people go like this. Nobody tell him.
Don't.
So he keeps singing crazy.
Keep him a child forever.
A lot of people are checking out the Ghost Lady. I don't know why you've added ghost to this. Just being alien is enough, Gail.
But there's a ghostly texture to her. I don't know. Like, she appears very ghosty to me.
All right. Somebody was calling up, bringing up the Bernstein Bears. Call back if you can, because they dropped out. I had never heard this. I want them to bring it up, but there's some problems with the Bernstein Bears. I don't know why adults would ever even worry about it. Is it the fact they have no pants?
I can't imagine what the problem is.
Did they just call each other like mother and father?
There was
brother?
Papa Bear, Mama Bear, but then all the brother bear, sister bear, which I always thought was kind of weird because then they started to go to different books. They would go to school, and then somebody would still be calling her sister bear. It's kind of strange. Like, it's not your sister bear.
Well, there's all kinds of crazy names out there now.
I was always a big fan of Queenie McBear. She was the cool girl in school.
Queenie McBear?
Queenie McBear. She was very cool to me.
I'll say this. Either Bernstein had no ability to name things. Zero.
I feel like Queenie McBear had earrings, which I thought was pretty cool. It's like, she's got good style.
Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Bernstein Bears. The Bernstein Bears. That's how he would sing every song. I'm dreaming of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's like the ones. But these children, they will be traveling in that same exact way. They're going to be living like Star Wars.
They'll be starmen.
Yeah. You'll be long dead by then.
Oh, yeah, I'll be gone. Big time.
Did you just say Obi-Wan?
I think I did.
Obi-Wan.
I'll be Obi-Wan.
Hey, Anthony in Tampa, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. You're talking about people mishearing lyrics.
Okay.
Remember the old song, You Should Be Dancing?
Yeah.
Remember at the beginning of the chorus, they're always saying, "What you doing on your back, on your back?" We had a buddy thought for sure they were saying, "What you doing there, you bitch?" And he would sing it that way all the time. "What you doing there, you bitch? What you doing there, you bitch? You should be dancing. We never told him. To this day, he thinks that's the lyric.
Let me tell you, your buddy was an idiot. You know that?
Yeah.
Call him up
I
and say
agree.
that's from us.
Enough said. See you later, bud.
All right, thanks, pal. Yeah, there's nothing funnier than when your friend or family member saying something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. It's amazing.
I had a friend who was confused about the lyrics of Rich Girl.
Yeah.
And when they sing, you can rely on the old man's money.
Yeah.
He thought he was saying, you can rely on the oat man's money. Like he was saying, Oats is going to take care of you.
You can rely on the Oats man money. You can rely on the Oats man's money. That's getting way too on the nose.
And he was never referred to as the Oat Man.
Yeah.
Like, this never
I'm
happened.
Daryl Hall, and this is my friend, the Oat Man. You can rely on his money. Here's Mike from Long Island.
Hey, what's going on, Ronnie? What's going on, Gail?
That's none of your business, Mike.
Hey, all right, so here's the conspiracy with this whole Bernstein Bears thing, right?
Yeah.
You guys all remember it as Bernstein, right?
Bernstein.
S-T-E-I-N.
Yeah.
Actually spelled S-T-A-I-N. You guys look it up.
No, it's true.
Wait, so it's
Bernstein Bear.
Bernstein.
Oh.
But see how it's spelled?
Berenstain Bear.
Yeah. But we all say Bernstein Bear. How
Yeah.
do they pronounce it, though?
We don't know. I don't know. So the conspiracy is that somebody traveled back in time at some point, and the whole butterfly effect type thing happened, and that's what changed it to Bernstein. So it used to be Steen when we were kids, when I was a kid, but now it's Steen, and everything changed. The whole matrix got changed, and we're on a different level now. Alternate universe is going on.
Yeah, but what happened to the old us?
The old us is somewhere else now.
That's where we should be. We're Bernstein Bears.
Yeah, we're remembering the Steen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're remembering it, but it's actually different than what we're remembering.
Okay.
Crazy stuff going on. So,
We're remembering the past wrongly.
Exactly.
Peace. Joe, in Utah.
Hey, I think Hoda Kotb looks exactly like a real-life Berenstain Bear. Is that racist?
I don't think it's racist. But she does have a Bernstein Bear look.
Yeah.
On her. Or Bernstein Bear. The proper way to say it. Chris, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
I used to think that the Bee Gees were saying four-legged woman in the song Forever Woman.
Four-legged woman. Four-legged woman to me. Bob, Jersey boy.
Hey, buddies.
Hey, what's up?
I was convinced until about a year ago that The Who was singing about a deaf, dumb black kid.
He's a deaf, dumb black kid. Sure plays a mean pinball. Devin, go ahead.
Yeah, my sister back in the 80s when Tony Danza was a big star thought they were saying Tony Danza instead of Tiny Dancer.
Yeah,
It's a
that
common
one-
misconception.
Yeah, that one it's called parody.
Yeah.
At that point. Craig in Texas.
Hey, cousin.
Hey, what's up, cousin?
So I'm on the way to dinner with my dad about a year ago, and Couldn't Mind's a huge classic rock fan, and all of a sudden I hear him going, Captain Midnight. You don't let it all hang out.
What a moron. Your dad's so stupid.
Captain Midnight.
Captain Midnight. He don't let it all hang out. Captain Midnight. Obi-Wan Kenobi and the facts of life. The facts of life. That's good, RJ.
You got it.
You're singing it the right way. Mm-hmm. Sing that Facts of Life song again. Like an edge. Andrew. Andrew, what's up?
Hey, Benningtons. Hey, I had a buddy who thought Warren Zevon's Werewolves of London was Railroads and Thunder.
Oh! Railroads and Thunder. Doing the Railroads and Thunder.
I like when someone just is like, I'm not even going to listen to the other lyrics. Like,
Yeah.
I have the chorus figured out. There's no reason to question myself.
Here's Chris. Chris in Old Alabama Way.
Hey, the first line in Van Morrison's song, Brown Eyed Girl, I used to think it was Hey Little Negro.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Hey, little Negro!
What?
That days that the rain came.
What did he call me?
That was an awkward night of karaoke, I'll tell you.
Oh, I bet. I bet. You can tell a kid can make a mistake. Here's Sean in Connecticut.
Hey, what's up? This is so dumb, but I used to think in the Another Brick in the Wall, it was no Dukes of Hazzard in the classroom.
No Dukes of Hazzard in the classroom.
Dukes has been banned.
Hey, Sheriff, leave them kids alone. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, Matt in Illinois.
Hello.
What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Hey, I have a friend who used to think that the ZZ Top song, Slip Inside My Sleeping Bag, she used to think it was like supersonic sleeping bag.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. James, what's up, James?
Hey, guys, I used to think Dirty Deeds from AC/DC was Dirty Knees and the Thunder Cheeks. Like it was some girl with a big butt giving guys blowjobs or something.
You know, that's no stupider. That's no dumber than the actual lyric. The fact that it's even Dirty Deeds is always kind of embarrassing.
It's always kind of silly.
Here's Joe. Joe in Arkansas.
Good morning.
Hey, man.
I have a friend that used to think life in the fast lane was type in the Vaseline.
Type in the Vaseline. Well, you know, what are you going to do?
One of my worst ones was a song that I actually considered to be one of my favorite songs. So it made it so much worse.
Yeah.
But it was Toto's Africa. And it was really embarrassing because I got caught like at a party, like singing it really loud. And so the line is, I bless the rains down in Africa.
Yeah.
But I was saying, I guess it rains down in Africa. And then I was like over the top, like going, like giving like shruggy shoulders, like, I guess it rains down in Africa. Someone was like, what do you say? I guess it rains.
Yeah.
There's no proof. I don't know.
No one's ever been there to find out. There's no weather.
There's no way to prove it.
The fact that you don't even like this song is embarrassing enough.
What? This song is so good. Also, Bless the Rains is just as confusing.
Well, this song is pure cheese. And people from Africa try to say this. What's this guy talking about? I'll smack the taste out of his mouth.
Anytime you can work Mount Kilimanjaro into a song.
Yeah.
I guess it rains down in Africa. I guess it rains.
So we got into this premise because your Aunt RJ and your Aunt Michelle and your Uncle RJ used to sing Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Facts of Life.
Yes.
Like, quite frankly, like a couple of lunatics. And no one would stop them from saying it because it was funnier to laugh at them.
Yes, we don't need to teach you.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, what's strange is, you know, now their kids are very musical.
Yes, that's right. They are very musical. The whole family is musical.
And you can't make mistakes with music the way, and I don't mean to point it out this way, the way their dumb parents did. You know, you can't be able to think that. Here's Cody in Texas. Cody, we got you, buddy? Yeah.
Pardon?
Go ahead, buddy.
First time I ever heard Ragdoll by Aerosmith, I was really sleep deprived at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, all I heard was, yes, I'm pooping. I'm really pooping. And now every time I hear that damn song, that's all I hear. And it drives me crazy.
I don't even know where you get in there. Yes, I'm pooping.
What is
I swear, if you listen to that
At what
song,
part,
you'll hear
though?
it too now. It's the chorus.
She's like, yes, I'm pooping. That part, yeah.
All right, let's go with it. Yes, I'm pooping. Bring it to boom. Can't stop pooping. The sad thing is that he can't stop pooping, which sounds like a very ill person.
But he's very cheerful about it.
Yeah, he is cheerful. You can't stop him. He can't stop pooping. Phil, what's up, buddy? Phil in Virginia.
No, it's Stu, but that's okay. Hey, the song Drops of Jupiter, for a long time I thought they were saying Van Halen is overrated. And I was...
At what point?
Where they go, that heaven is overrated.
For some reason, his mother thinks Van Halen is overrated.
Yeah, I'm like, why are these...
From death.
Like, that's awfully bold for these guys.
Who the hell are they? Don't even have any hits yet. All right, let's listen. By the way, these are crazy lyrics.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know his own lyrics.
And Van Halen's overrated.
You know, the funny thing is, David Lee Roth heard that song. He's like, wait, are you saying classic Van Halen with me or Van Hagar with Sammy? Because that band is definitely overrated.
I'm with you, Ponytail Dave.
Here's Woody in Maryland.
Yeah, I used to think Ain't Talk About Love was eat turkey full of love. It's button to the core.
Yeah, it's just stupid. You're a dumb kid.
Wouldn't say that.
I'm not going to go through every song for these guys. When they stink, they stink. There's no way around that. What bands are you into now? Yeah.
What bands am I into?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a band out there right now that I'm feeling, and you can never get confused with their lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Little band called Tidal Wave.
Oh yeah, Tidal Wave out of Florida.
When I come around, they could use a singer.
I don't know. I like it better because it doesn't get in the way of the guitar.
Well, give me a ring if you need.
I like a two-man band.
Two-man band is a good vibe.
White Stripes, Black Keys.
Yeah.
Now here's the weird thing: White Stripes and Black Keys hate each other.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You think that they would be good friends?
You think they would be best friends, but they're like, hey, we're the two-man band.
Mates Estate is a two-man band.
Oh yeah.
A lot of solid two-man bands.
Simon and Garfunkel were two men, but now no band there.
Right. They're just two men.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So what are they called?
Tidal Wave. It's
Tidal
Tidal
Wave.
Wave.
Tidal Wave out of Florida.
I mean, people...
Oh, here we go. Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Benny Boy! Oh, Eddie Van Halen.
What?
Sweet. Sweet.
Shreds.
Benny Boy! How come Sweetie isn't singing lead for those? I know she's playing guitar now.
I know. Sweetie, she's playing guitar. She's got a great voice.
Oh, yeah,
She
what
loves
was
to
the
sing.
song that she was sang at the school thing?
I can't remember what she sang at the school thing. I have heard her perform the Cup song.
You know what it was? No, this is the song that the kid did on Saturday Night Live, and it's about the city in Europe. Got to be just a gigantic hit.
It's like a pop hit.
Yeah, well, the kid's like 21. It's pop, but it's edgy.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Like her, really.
All right,
She's got
pop
like
but
a
edgy.
Pop.
Yeah.
Poppy, edgy.
Yeah. But why won't she get in the dance videos?
I don't know.
With Maria and Vincent.
I would really like to see her
twerk
in a dance.
Because I'm not comfortable with the twerking.
I think
I'm
that
gonna be
she
totally
would be,
honest.
I think she'd be a good twerker.
Yeah.
I've seen her pull off a duck face and some gang signs.
Well,
So-
everybody's going to do that now. Do you got an update for me? You got that song?
We're working on it right now. We're checking
It
the
was
SNL and the logs.
Give me a foreign city because you had the
Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin.
Come on, but a little, you know what I mean? Like
Copenhagen.
Why would everyone sing a song about Copenhagen? Yeah.
I really hated the song Stockholm
Get
Syndrome.
Jules. Right to
Thank you,
Jules.
Ronnie.
She'll know. Budapest. Julie just texted me.
Budapest.
You guys don't know this song?
I don't know this song.
All right, put it on real quick. This song is amazing.
George Ezra?
Yes.
All right.
Jesus. Let me just say this: that my show is this unhip that you guys don't know this show.
No, I don't know the song.
Yeah. That's why I was embarrassed to have you guys all at the Regan show yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
Because we didn't know Budapest?
Yes.
How did he know that we didn't know Budapest?
Well, he said, when you bring me out, could you bring me out to Budapest? And I'm like, I'm sorry, my staff doesn't know that.
They simply don't know that.
By the way, the pictures are up on the iBank today of all the New York comics gathered around Brian, and that top picture is adorable.
It's so great. I love it.
But this is funny. So we're all standing there, and you know how we get everybody in the picture, and I could just feel Gary Goldman towering over us like a seriously. It was like we were up against a red, and I was getting shade down on top of me from his chin. I was laughing about it. But that was such a fun day. Now, all the New York comics, look all the way over to the left and see who jumped in the picture. A young cartoonist.
A very young comic, up and comer.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I noticed Joe and Chris and Gail didn't jump in. Dan got himself in. I love it, Dan.
So these are my people.
So the Unmasked, we actually have this on hold. I wish we could play it for you immediately, but he's got that stand-up special, which I tried to get him 3 times to say that he was nervous about doing.
He just doesn't seem it.
Mm-mm. He can't wait for it. My house in Budapest. Yeah, they said that when Sweetie did that at the school, there were people crying, and she got to the end of it, and there was like 5 full beats of silence, and then the room got crazy, started tearing out chairs, lit the curtains on fire, lit the curtains on fire, and they said that someone had, I guess they got so excited by the music, they picked up a dog and just started hitting it against the wall.
Oh, no!
Dog didn't do anything.
I love that song! Oh, this song is so great! And they were going crazy. And I'm like, why isn't she singing with Tidal Wave?
I know. She's a tremendous talent. And you know, by the way, both Sweetie and Ben, huge Brian Regan fans. That's what I found out.
Yes, I brought that up during the Unmasked. Here's another thing. What? You put Sweetie as the lead singer of the band, Tidal Wave. Ben, lead guitar. But we go mod with this, 1960s style, and you have 2 dancers.
Yeah, 2
on
go-go's.
stage. And those go-go dancers would be?
Vincent and Maria Bella.
And they're both just dancing back and forth.
Perfect.
Doing those steps, but like they're watching a monitor so they know what steps to do, because kids today just don't dance for no reason. It's crazy though, huh? Here's Paul in Tampa Town.
Hey, Bennington, how are you today?
Good.
Yeah, I was wondering, you was talking about new music. There was a band that opened for the Stones in Orlando last month. I took my 13-year-old son there, called the Temperance Movement. They're awesome. I don't know if you ever heard that song, Smoldering, but you got to check it out.
They're called Temperance Movement, and the song is called Smoldering. Let's play a little bit of it. There you go. All right, we got a spy report right now.
Spy report.
It's a big spy report going on. And these phones are acting wacky. This just disappeared on me.
Maybe the
There we go.
disconnected. Got it?
Yeah. Bartender. Hey, bartender. Hey man, looky here.
Hey, cousins, how we doing?
Cool, cousin.
So, spy report, arguably the worst quarterback in the NFL, Jets Geno Smith, out 6 to 10 weeks with a broken jaw suffered by his teammate in the locker room.
Oh,
so
no.
Go Jets. Go Jets. Actually, go Steelers.
Who's gonna be the number one quarterback now?
I have no clue. Chad Bennington, maybe?
Chad Bennington.
Please let him come back.
That's going back a ways.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is their backup.
Oh, from Buffalo.
Yeah.
Man, there are not a lot of quarterbacks in that league anymore.
Broken
Who you
jaw,
rooting for
though.
this year?
Eggs.
Go Eagles. Go Eagles. Afterwards, we'll go get a hoagie and a Coke.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
On the road to victory. Philly talk. You know what? Everybody likes Eagles all the way down to Wildwood, Ocean City. You go down far south as Rehoboth, everybody still likes the Eagles. And then you go a little bit further, get in your houseboat, take it out, go to Ocean City, get some strawberries, and everybody likes the Eagles.
Eagles fans down Dover.
Oh, all the way down Dover. I got some cousins down Dover, still get loots. Everybody down there loot it. My life in Budapest, my grand piano.
Catchy.
Where you been, dude?
I don't know. I'm here.
Yes, working in radio, which means you got to know what? Music.
I mean.
In this. Who walked by earlier? Who was the rapper?
Nelly the rapper.
Nelly.
It's getting hot in here.
Classic.
Put on the air conditioning.
That's all it takes.
Getting so hot, I'm going to take my jacket off.
Good call.
Yeah.
Hey.
Is this Maria Bella?
Yeah.
Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Maria Bella.
Hey, guys.
What are you up to?
Nothing. We were calling because we were listening to your radio. So we were, just listening. So I was wondering if I can call in.
Yes, you can call in. How's everything with you?
Everything's doing good.
Now,
Hey.
Say hi, Gail.
Hey, guys.
Now, are you guys singing Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Facts of Life?
Yes. Yes. I will totally learn off of that.
Now, what kind of dances are you guys doing that they videotape and you guys are watching a computer?
Well, just many different kinds. Because I know when my little brother Vincent was a baby, he kind of was dancing for TV shows. So I'm pretty sure he'd be good at dancing.
Wait, he was dancing on a TV show?
No, not a TV show, but he was dancing with the TV show.
Oh, okay.
Right, the
just
TV
dancing
would be on.
Yeah, with TV. He's a natural dancer.
Yeah, he has a talent.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, they do that Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could get him to be a star first.
Yeah, all you need to do is
Yeah.
get some star heat behind him, and
Right.
then he could easily take that competition.
Where are you guys off to today?
We were just listening to the radio, and we were gonna go we're gonna go Starbucks and meet up.
All right. Go
And
yeah.
all of us are saying hi, everybody. We love your show a lot.
Say who's all there now. Tell Gail who's there.
What?
Who's all with you?
Oh, Michelle, Robin, and Vince, and Ben.
Oh. The whole gang. All right. Well, enjoy some caffeinated coffee.
Yeah.
All right.
You need it.
And if you hang up now, you'll be able to hear yourself on the radio because there's a delay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, honey. Oh, that's nice.
Strange coincidence they were listening.
Yeah. They love you a lot. Love your show a lot.
I know. Big fans.
Well,
I
you
love
know.
them.
Keep on pooping. Don't stop pooping. Who isn't going to like that show? Aerosmith. When they were up here before, and this is I shouldn't even go around to telling us a true story, but I think that maybe Steven Tyler is the biggest rock star ever because so it's me and the entire band of Aerosmith and I'm interviewing them, right? And there's an audience. And then behind the audience, so you can see down the aisle, Steven Tyler had a mirror put there, like the kind that you would have in a closet. What's it, like a long mirror?
Yeah, like a full-length mirror.
Full-length mirror.
Yeah.
So that he could keep an eye on Steven Tyler to make sure he was looking good.
Oh my God, that sounds so distracting.
It was for everybody but him.
He was very comfortable with it.
And yeah, no, he just stayed. He stayed Steven Tyler. He stayed being a rock star.
He was able to keep an eye on it.
I
That's
thought it
why.
was just amazing. Here's Matt in Illinois.
Hey guys, love the show.
What?
There's a new song by Dawes called "Things Happen," and I've just been listening to it incessantly. It's not the greatest song on the road, but there's something about it. I just play it over and over and over again.
All right, I'm going to keep you on hold while we listen to a little bit of it, and then we'll see whether there's something wrong with you or not. Like, this is Dawn, and it's called Things Happen. All right, I gotta tell you, Matt, that's pretty cool.
It is good.
I like the guitar work in it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So buy that CD right away.
All right, let's listen a little more of Dawn, All Things Happen. Have you on the cymbal, the drummer. All right, good stuff.
Really good. I could see why you're into it.
Who's coming up next, Chris?
Mr. Doug Benson.
Doug Benson.
Good old Doug Benson.
Our buddy Doug Benson. And what is he here to promote?
He's here to promote his new documentary on Netflix, Chronic Con, episode 420, A New Dope.
Look, there's Handsome Johnny Tubesteak walking by. Handsome Johnny.
Tubing and staking.
What's the PR department's name?
Samantha.
And who's the other one?
Carolina.
And what happened to our other friend?
I was told they're on 19, but I have to see if they're still
Get to
there.
the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. But people get lost down there. It's a weird place, 19th floor.
Where do they go?
I don't know. There's a lot of cubicles down there and offices with non-glass doors. Here you can just see if someone's in their office. There you have to like knock and open a door. It's a weird way to do things.
Yeah?
I've gotten used to having just looking down there and just seeing all glass walls. So when I'm on 19 and there's walls there that aren't glass,
it scares you?
It's like, why? This is strange. It's
Why do
really
you keep
weird.
Going back and forth.
Never thought.
Handsome Johnny, yeah.
Oh, it's Johnny. Johnny.
Johnny, come take a thing. Johnny, there's not something happened between you and Samantha, is there?
Me
Because-
and Sam
yeah.
from outside?
Yeah.
No.
Because you two look fantastic together
Thank
when you're
you.
walking down.
Handsome couple.
And I don't know whether it was just because you were half the couple. I don't know how it works.
Ronnie's got a bad habit of like pairing me with every single person just because I'm walking next to them. So
But you have the reputation as the fellow around town.
I've been doing better these days. I'm down to one.
Oh.
Just one.
What's his name?
Wow, nice. Because I'm living the alternative lifestyle.
Well, I mean, you could. I mean, we're all gender fluid.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know whether you're familiar with
Her
Caitlin.
name is Giselle, and she's very lovely.
Not the Giselle.
Not the Giselle.
Oh, wow.
It's not Tom Brady's
you
squeeze.
got a pic? You got a Facebook pic? We can take a gander at her at?
Show us.
I don't have my phone on me.
Chris will put it up for you.
Use this computer.
Yeah.
Here.
Go ahead.
When you come around.
It's a pretty good song, especially without lyrics.
I think they tap now. I think
Oh,
once we brought up Doug Benson, they were able to tap out.
That's your cue.
Bum, 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 bum. Hey, does Opie got a new logo? Or did
Is
he
that
always
new?
go black and white?
No, I think that's for the doc series.
Oh, the doc series is all black and white. Okay, that's
Yeah.
very cool. That's actually real cool. We had to steal that for our logo. She's exotic.
Oh.
Much against to the chagrin of my parents.
Is it Brazilian?
She is not Jewish.
Is it Brazilian?
Dominican.
Dominican.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She's a
And your
fox.
parents are nervous about it, huh?
They're not the biggest fans that she's not Jewish, but that's just a speed bump. We'll get past it.
Do you think maybe you could get her to
convert?
Yeah.
Jump ship.
All she's got to do is everything she's doing now, just give up the Jesus part.
Yeah. Same thing.
It's kind of
really.
a big part.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice. I'm glad to see you,
Thank you. Yeah, it's been going well. For you know me, it's short attention span, but I like
Sure.
her.
Where'd you meet her at?
She used to intern here. Actually,
Oh, boy.
I'm
Is
here
that
all the
allowed?
time. I don't have a choice.
Is that allowed?
She wasn't in. She's not an intern anymore.
He has countdown calendars. Oh yeah, and then you were after our other little Dominican girl.
Over that worked here. Oh yeah, Nerys. Yeah, that was a failed attempt. Everyone liked her though. We had a dance off.
Yeah,
I danced. I don't dance.
And yet you were really a good dancer too.
All right.
That day, everybody was crazy about you. What's the story with Doug Benson?
He's signed in, coming up right now.
We got to go to break. Great to see you again,
Thanks,
Handsome
guys.
Johnny.
Always happy to see you guys.
And where can people hear you every night?
I'm actually on Alt Nation today, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Whoa,
so,
sweet!
yeah.
You're playing some alternative stuff.
Alternative stuff.
Yeah. So what are you? 5 hours of Foo Fighters?
5 hours of Foo Fighters, a little bit of Muse, then back to Foo Fighters.
Great. Perfect.
This is your Muse and Foo Fighters block coming your way.
You like Muse? You're going to love this Foo Fighters track.
I got a little interesting story about Foo Fighters. The singer Dave Grohl was in a band called Nirvana from the 90s.
Love this.
Yeah. They did Smells Like Teen Spirit.
That was them.
Yeah. From Seattle.
Love the
alternative.
I'm going to use all this.
Yeah, use it. It's all
gold
right there for you. We're right back. We'll be right back with Doug Benson. This is the Bennington Show.
Listen to The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Dan Soder, two of the funniest comedians in New York just talking about life stuff. You'll recognize their voices. Dan Soder sounds like he gargles with bourbon every night, and Jay sounds like a strip club DJ.
The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Dan Soder.
That's a compliment. Those guys are good. 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific.
On Sirius XM 95, Comedy Central Radio.
This is Bennington. Raw Dog Comedy Hits. Sirius XM 99.
There's a guy in this country that reminds me of what used to make America great, and yes, can make America great again. And that's Mr. Tito Beverage. Tito's is a vodka that you see everywhere in this country. You go anywhere at all, and you run into a bottle of Tito's sitting there in a bar, liquor store. But this was all just one idea in one guy's mind. And that's what America was made for. And a long time ago, people would come from Europe just to go, I want to go in business for myself. You drive around the country now, and one of my biggest problems with America is it looks like every town looks like the same town, stamped out time and time again. But there are still individuals. Tito Beverage and Tito's Vodka are one of those individual ideas that I think it's at the root of everything that we're talking about here. He started this business on his own in 1995, went into a debt. Not only was he making it, distributing, marketing, running through all the legal things that you have to do to be able to sell alcohol in this country, but going up against the big boys in these different festivals and contests and winning time and time again. Now it's a brand name like any other. It's Tito's stands for something in this country. And at any single point, if Tito Beverage would have given up on this, we wouldn't have it today. And that's what I love about it. I love the old school American idea. And I implore you to look for it in your own life. Say to yourself, what can I do to make me happy and maybe make the country or the community and the world a little better. Go over to the website, check it out, because it's not just about the vodka, but there's also recipes, songs, it's real lifestyle stuff. And to get back into small businesses, growing themselves into big businesses, you better take a look at some of the guys who've done it right. And Tito Beverage is one of those folks.
Tito's handmade vodka is distilled 6 times from 100% corn and is naturally gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, songs, and more. 40% alcohol by volume, handcrafted to be savored responsibly.
Doug Benson is here. Got a brand new documentary on Netflix. By the way, every time I say Doug, you know what song is always in my head? It'll go, Doug Benson. I don't know why that happens to me every single time.
Yeah, I don't know why either. What is that song?
But The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
It's like the beginning of The
Benson. Yeah. I get it.
You got to do your own cartoon. But you've got a documentary out.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
Mm-hmm. With a ridiculously long title, Chronicon Episode 420. A new dope. Because, Morgan Spurlock, I started my documentary film career with a parody of his Super Size Me called Super High Me. And then I thought, well, for every movie I do, I'll just rip off whatever he's doing. And so he got around. I'm way behind at this point and don't plan on doing a parody of his One Direction documentary. But he did a movie about Comic-Con in San Diego. Yeah. So I was like, well, that's an easy one because I love Comic-Con and I'll just go there and try to get high with people in, superhero costumes. And turns out those people don't want to get high.
They don't seem like it, right?
Their weed is putting on a costume.
That's their party.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting because it's just sort of me wandering around high and not nobody smoking with me, but it still shows a lot of what Comic-Con is like for anybody who's never been or thinking about going.
But you like that scene anyway. I mean, it's fun for,
I do,
scene
yeah.
for you. Yeah.
I do. One time I happened to be in a hotel the same time as a furry convention, and it made me so happy to just be in a hotel where everyone was walking around in animal costumes.
I'm getting turned on by it.
I don't want to be one. I don't want to be a furry, but I really appreciate their lifestyle and that they found something that's fun for them to do.
Well, you've been in sci-fi movies before, right? There's a famous sci-fi movie. That you appeared in.
Well, I say being in it is kind of a stretch. I was an extra in a crowd scene, if I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Blade Runner?
Blade Runner.
That's awesome.
He was, now, I know he doesn't want to take credit for it, but to me, even to have been on that set, let alone, because I've seen the clip where, you can make out who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, it's real fast, my appearance in the movie, but there's plenty of still pictures. Like one of the still pictures that was in lots of magazines when the movie came out. I'm just in the lower left-hand corner while Harrison Ford's on top of a taxi cab.
Yeah.
And that was when we did it, me and a buddy just sort of I was living in San Diego at the time and drove up to sign up and be an extra for like $50 a night in what I was excited about because it was the next movie starring Han Solo,
right?
And the next movie directed by the director of Alien.
Sure.
So I thought I was going to be in the greatest movie ever made and not a huge flop that nobody understood when it came out.
And yet now
it's, obviously.
Now, of course,
classic.
It's maybe even more loved than the films that you mentioned. You know what I mean? Like, there are probably as many people who love Blade Runner as any science fiction movie that's ever been done.
Yeah,
but at the time, it felt like a complete flop. They were rough.
It was very disappointing.
Yeah.
Like in San Diego where I still lived, it played in a multiplex on one of the shittier screens.
Right.
And it wasn't the big movie that I was expecting it to be. And also everyone just thought it wrongly that it might be fun. that it might be a fun movie to watch. And, and even those who love it, I don't know if fun is the right word to describe the experience.
Yeah, I think that's funny that there was a time that we thought of those kind of films like, hey, let's go out and have a couple laughs and just see some colors, you know what I mean? And any of the dystopia stuff will throw people off.
It was almost like a throwback to, how the 70s handled that sort of thing. Like, right. Before, pre-Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars made it back to, fun again. And everybody ran with that for forever.
But I can't think of a better movie because the set must have been cool, just being there and seeing all that.
Yeah,
right?
It was neat. It was like being you grew tired after a few nights of it.
Mm-hmm.
It got exhausting because we were up all night and they were spraying fake rain on us, and it wasn't like warm California nights. It was the time of the year when it was chilly, so it was uncomfortable. And then also, they hired just most of the, Asians walking around, barely spoke English, and all of the people with like tattoos on their faces. They didn't just sit people down and do fake tattoos like a lot of movies would do. They hired people that have tattoos on their faces, so it's like kind of a obnoxious crowd to have to spend time with. And like when we'd have time off, there's like a whole bunch of cots in a giant, in an empty soundstage that we just go in and lay on them. It just felt like when I saw the Stanford Prison Experiment, I was like, oh, that's what it was like to be on Blade Runner. We could leave if we wanted to, but you felt it was important to stay.
Took all these years later. Dude, we could have just walked out. Yeah. No one was stopping us.
Plus, I had, my definitely first ever like show business sort of hissy fit in Harrison Ford, because one night, they had all those fancy futuristic cars on the set, and one of them, the tailpipe was like in a weird place and sticking out, and I guess the engine had been idling for a while, so the tailpipe was hot, and for some reason Harrison Ford's leg grazed up against this super hot tailpipe, so he's screaming bloody murder when it happened, and then went to his trailer and didn't come back for hours and hours. and when he did finally reappear, I got close enough to him to see him showing what happened to his leg, and he was completely justified. It was a horrifying burn on his leg that, but it was still, at the time, was like, you just want to go home after a certain point every night.
Sure.
So when you're just waiting on the actor to show up, that's a bummer.
How many days were you on set?
It was like 5 nights. It was like Monday to Friday.
250
of like all night long, just wet. And then me and my friend, just to try to get in the movie, because Harrison Ford was super method about, it's the scene where he's chasing the snake lady.
Sure.
Joanna Cassidy. He's chasing her down the street, or trying to find her in the crowded street. And, so my friend and I figured out that if you got in his way, he would push you. Like he would get physical with you because he was serious about finding the snake lady. So we would just get in his way, just because we thought it would end up in the film. It didn't work out that way, but I could still spot myself anyway.
But you've got a still picture there. Look at that, Gail. There he is.
That's me, cool. And I kept the hat. They were very serious about nobody taking their wardrobe, but I snuck out with the hat on the last day.
But you didn't have even your own show business streams then. You were just having fun with this.
Oh, I wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
So that was part of the impetus for doing it. Prior to that, I had a friend of mine was an extra in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and he was living in L.A. and I was living in San Diego. But I came up from San Diego and just hung out with him one night. I didn't get paid, but the production Fast Times thought that I was one of the extras, so I just behaved like one. And just didn't get paid at the end of the night. And it was in the Galleria Mall in Sherman Oaks. The same mall that Arnold Schwarzenegger swings across onto the elevator in Commando.
Yeah.
Which I was also an extra in. So on more than one occasion, I was in that mall. It's weird to be in a mall that's just open in the middle of the night, just pretending to be open just for the sake of shooting a film. But if in the last scene of Fast Times, when Ratner goes to see Stacy at the pizza place, I'm standing right in the background through that entire scene.
I love that, man. I don't know.
I love being in the my first two movies were classics.
Yeah, absolute classics. But I just love the fact because a friend of mine had done an extra thing. I can't even remember the name of this movie, but Robert Towne wrote and directed it. It was about lesbian track stars. Robert Towne,
Personal Best.
Yeah, Personal Best. And he had written Chinatown and all this. He was a great writer, but this one also flopped. But there was a scene where he said, "Hey, I'm in the movie." So I went and checked it out, and I just saw him waving and going crazy during this thing, like he was supposed to be cheering for. And you just see one person going ape shit nuts. And I'm like, I don't know how he got away with that, but it makes the movie for me. Another friend of mine he thought he had a speaking part in the movie, but he was really an extra because they dubbed his line once they got back. And that was in the John Candy Summer Rental movie.
Yeah.
And it's Mike Nielsen, who's a comic, very funny guy. But he's, remember when John Candy walks around and he's spilling water on everyone? He steps on him, and we all went to the theater to see it. And then you just hear my friend go like this, "Hey man, you stepped on my hand." Just some weird, and like we started laughing and pointing him in the theater. We're like, "Oh my God, that's embarrassing."
The same thing happened to me in a
Did
movie. Yeah, in the C. Thomas Howell classic, Secret Admirer. Was that C. Thomas Howell?
Yeah.
And there's a scene like on Lover's Lane where a guy is looking for his girlfriend, and he's like, I was just an extra in a car, but he like pulls me out and then shoves me back in the car, and I had no lines. But then in post, they decided that, well, why wouldn't the person say something when they're being pulled out of their car at Makeout Lane? And so they threw in a like, "Hey!" And I knew the rules at the time, so I contacted SAG, and that's how I got my SAG card.
Oh,
and
is
I
that
get
right?
residuals from that movie to this day.
That's cool, though.
A couple pennies here and there, but
Yeah.
but that's how I got into SAG, is because I was like, you can't just throw in. Well, I should have just said the line on the set, because that's what it ends up looking like anyway. So yeah, it was pretty sneaky of me.
But my friend never knew that. He just sulked off and felt bad about himself.
Oh yeah, I should have. If he'd have known me, I'd have given him that pointer that you can get into a union. Is he active as an actor anyway?
No, I think he's living somewhere in the middle of the country now.
Yeah, so I guess it wouldn't be worth it to be paying dues into SAG. If
Maybe
you're
you could use the dental. I don't know what's up with them. How many of these films did you end up on set like this? How many times were you an extra?
Oh, I was when I moved to LA initially. It was like after the '84 Olympics. I thought that'd be a perfect time to move to LA.
Sure.
I should have moved there during the Olympics because I waited till it was over because I thought the city would be a mess, and it turns out that traffic was the smoothest that it ever had or ever will during the Olympics, and so I moved up there right after that. Signed up with every extra casting agency, which at the time there was, I bet you there was about a dozen of them, and you just have to call in every day to the different places and say, "What do you got tomorrow?" And then between TV and movies, I was probably in about 70 to 100 things before I packed. Once I started getting work that was like, I eventually moved up to being a stand-in and stuff. Mm-hmm. So once I was doing that, then I, looked down on the extras immediately and never looked back, unfortunately never really had to go back to it or got to be, I was like a featured extra in a movie called Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which Return of the Living Dead is a classic, written and directed by, the guy who wrote Alien. And, it was, the one with the punks, punk rockers getting attacked by zombies. And then the sequel was awful, the next one, and that's the one I'm in. And, I play about a dozen different zombies throughout the movie. 'Cause I don't know if all zombie movies do this. I don't think Walking Dead does this, but they just would just put different makeup on us, each night, which was, after a while, really takes its toll to have, whenever I see someone playing Freddy Krueger or Jim Carrey in The Mask or something, I'm like, I just feel bad for them, because no amount of money can make up for how awful prosthetics are night after night after night, or day after day.
You look so claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah, it'd be terrible.
Yeah, it's just stuck to you. It's stuck on your face. And every time you walk by a mirror, it's so weird, because it's not your face when you look into the mirror.
Yeah, Jim Carrey said that they had to bring in like Navy SEALs who taught him like torture things to do to not freak out and pull off the Grinch thing. He said that there's like little things that you can scratch part of your body or whatever to take your mind off of the fact,
That amazed me that he did Grinch after having already experienced it on The Mask. Like, to go through it again, I thought, oh, he must just be super chill with it. Like, he must be like, oh, this is easy, because I guess some people are, like the guy who played Freddy Krueger a bunch of times, Robert Englund, he seemed like a nice guy, well adjusted, and he went through it a lot, and I bet you they even in some of the movies probably used to double quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just to give him a break.
Well, who did, it was the guy from Beverly Hillbillies, Buddy Ebsen, and he did my show a million years ago, and they almost killed him. He was the original Tin Man.
Yeah, that's why he's not in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was telling us, he said, like, the lead-based paint went into his body.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's like how they kill the girl in Goldfinger.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Just paint her entire body. So they're like, she can't breathe when she's all painted like that. Thank God the technology has come along where a woman can be painted and not die.
And they said to Buddy, there's like, look, this is the 30s. You're screwed. We don't even know how to cure anything. We'll put some leeches on you, and maybe that'll be okay, but I doubt it.
You're no longer going to be in this classic motion picture. Good luck.
Yeah.
Have at it. But then Beverly Hillbillies came along, and he's still legendary.
With this documentary that you've done, do you guys have a plan of that, or is the plan Doug gets high and wanders
It's
around?
just see what happens. Yeah. It's just let's spend each day following each opportunity. We knew Morgan Spurlock was around, and he hadn't appeared in my first two parodies of his movies. So in this one, we thought it'd be fun to try to get him on camera. He's always been a nice guy about the fact that I did a weed version of his McDonald's movie, and has been on my podcast a few times. So we knew when we ran into him, he'd be nice, but we still, play it in the movie. Like, I'm going to track down Morgan Spurlock and we're going to, settle some things, and so a lot of the movie is me just trying to follow clues and tweets and stuff to figure out where Morgan Spurlock is. And then, the other goal, it was a very lame goal, but it was we had to hang the movie on something. Was let's make a list of superheroes that I'd like to get high with, and then go out and try to accomplish it. But that's the thing about Comic-Con is like me just walking around gets a certain amount of attention. Not a lot because it's kind of a family event, but there's still plenty of people that recognize me. And then on top of that, having cameras follow me adds that extra level of everyone going, what's with this guy? What's going on over here? So then people behave really strangely as soon as you do that. Especially downtown San Diego is already a party spot. It's already tons of bars that are full of people screaming and yelling about sports events and stuff every night. And so to add Comic-Con and everybody's wearing costumes, it's just, it's, people are loving the movie just because Comic-Con itself is such an interesting event.
Well, it just gets bigger and bigger. And now the weird thing is like, there's so many of them that aren't in San Diego now. Yeah. People are like, oh, are you going to the Birmingham, Alabama Comic-Con? I'm like, well, that can't be big. And then you see all these big names that are going there, it just,
Yeah, it's just a great promotional opportunity, and you're reaching the people that are not just going to buy one ticket to see the movie. They're going to buy the outfit and, all the other merchandise that comes with it. And, that's, some people don't like that about Comic-Con, and now it's just a big marketplace for selling big Hollywood movies and TV series. And oftentimes things that have no relation to science fiction, fantasy, or horror at all. Yeah. And they still manage to get in there because if it's popular in pop culture, Comic-Con is the place to talk about it.
It is really funny where you'll just hear something like, well, Blink 182 is going to Comic-Con. You're like, what?
Why?
They booked it. They feel pretty good about it. There's just all these bizarre things. But, I've been always waiting for that thing to come crushing down on itself. Like, okay, there's too many comic book movies. But with Star Wars, they're going to start and put out a Star Wars every year. Yeah. Either a Star Wars or a spinoff. Forever from this point on.
But that's the fun of the comic book movies at this point, is that now copying the existing ones doesn't feel like the way to go. Like in the case of Ant-Man, that's like a one that the whole family can go to. Uh-huh. That's like probably the cleanest and least violent of the ones they've done so far. And then on the other hand, Deadpool is going to be like a hard R. Yeah. And be extremely violent and lots of swear words, which that's the one I'm most excited about.
That's the one I'm taking the kids to. Yeah. I thought that would be. I really want them to have a memorable day. They're 3 and 5. Let them get in there. Deadpool it.
But then somewhere in between is Guardians of the Galaxy, which like that movie really, there's, they could make 30 movies from all the characters that are in that movie. So I'm sure there's going to be too much of it for sure, but I'm excited that there can be different kinds of superhero movies instead of always just trying to
Batman. Yeah. Although they're excited, they just said the other day they've got the Batman and Superman. They want to assign a Fleck to 3 more of these, and they said, "Look, you haven't seen it yet. He's the definitive Batman."
Really?
It just came out the other. They said he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable as Batman.
Who said this?
I guess Warner Brothers. They said that.
But the fact that they want to sign him to 3 more is obviously a sign that something went right.
They said that in this screening, they screened it for the exec. The execs leaped to their feet and were clapping and yelling at the end of this, like it was a Gallagher show in the 80s. They said people were just going crazy. So you're
saying Batman kills Superman?
I hope. Because
or at least
Superman
the Henry Cavill version of Superman.
It never works.
I'm not
Does
into.
it the Superman movies? They've tried to last.
Well, Superman Returns was so weird because they still did the same opening titles with the names flying through space. Yeah. And then Kevin Spacey just basically did a Gene Hackman impression. Right. It really was like just a remake of the Superman where they didn't really necessarily update it enough to justify it. And so that's why this Man of Steel thing, I guess, worked for people. I didn't care for it.
I don't know if I've even watched it. Oh, that's the one with Kevin Costner did that?
Yeah.
I couldn't get past that.
I thought the trailer looked good. And then everyone was like, oh, the trailer's not like, that's like a teeny little part of the film. And it wasn't.
Kevin Costner goes back to save the dog at one point. That turns out to not be a good idea. But also, it's a superhero movie. Like, who actually dies trying to save an animal in a superhero movie?
Don't go back for the dog.
Yeah, did you learn nothing about the cat in Alien?
They only lived to be 11. Now, I like this. Nic Cage just came out with his top 4 Nic Cage movies.
His own?
Yeah. I've never heard of another. Yeah. Let's guess. All right. What is just let's do it. Chris, you're the only one who's seen it. Right?
Yeah, I've seen, yeah.
All right. If you had to pick a Nic Cage movie, because I have a couple that I think he's amazing in.
He's been amazing in at least 4.
Yeah, I'm going to just give Raising Arizona.
That's got to be.
Has to be, because it's an almost flawless movie.
Yeah, and he's incredible in it.
He's great in it. It's not an accent that you're wondering where it's from the whole time. Right. It fits that movie.
And by the way, he was only like 25 or 26 when he did that. It's a fairly mature weird place to go with that. You know, like when you watch that movie, you don't think of as a kid. So,
and it's a kind of a low key character for him at that point because he was like being really wacky and stuff. Like everybody thought he ruined Peggy Sue Got Married, with his weird performance. But going back and look at it, it's the most interesting thing about the movie.
Yeah, I like it. All
right, what else?
Raising Arizona isn't on his list.
Oh my God! All
He
right.
never worked with the Coen brothers again, so maybe he's just got bad
feelings about them. That's
the
a
whole
good call.
movie.
I think I know what's got to be on there because I think that it is weird enough, but also still considered to be great. Wild at Heart.
That's a great call.
That's
Wild at Heart has to
and
be
that's
on there.
David Lynch.
Yeah.
And he's just nuts.
He's crazy.
I mean, he's
Sailor Ripley.
Yeah.
Sailor.
And Laura Dern, she's
Yeah.
crazy in it, and her mother is really crazy
Oh my
at that
God.
scene where she puts all the lipstick all over her face.
Yeah. And then turns into the Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
You got me hotter.
That's
Hotter than Georgia asphalt.
That's a great one.
All right,
Is it on it?
Did not make
Did not make
what?
All right, so they got to go with.
I'm starting to feel like he's going to pick like four of the lamest,
Well,
weirdest.
He's going to pick the "We're All Italians" and we
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck, which oddly, you know, is a better movie than people even give it credit for. Particularly if you've ever been around a lot of Italians, they literally act that way. But I get that Cher's in it and people get turned off. Moonstruck.
Did not make the list.
Wow.
Maybe. I mean, I know that fans of how over the top he can be are super into Vampire's Kiss. And as an actor, he pulled out all the stops.
He ate a cockroach.
So, yeah, he ate a cockroach, and he just does a lot of ridiculous yelling. And at one point, he goes through the ABCs loudly while standing on a desk, explaining to his secretary how alphabetizing works. What do you say? Did that make the top four?
Vampire's Kiss made the top four.
Yes!
You did it!
All right. Damn, he's done so many movies. I feel like I'm gonna look. Well, what did he win the Oscar for? He won the Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas, right?
Oh, okay.
So
that's got to be there.
That's got to be a sentimental favorite because it brought him so much acclaim.
Leaving Las Vegas made the list.
Yes.
Okay. That's two.
I got another one I think might be on there because I think he does a better job of. Or wait, is it the other way around? Anyway, I enjoy him and Travolta in Face Off.
Well, here's the deal, too. You're right. You only get half of the movie to have fun in. If you're, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like the early part of it, that was great. But then Travolta gets all the rest of it to be the over-the-top bad guy.
Right. He always only gets that wild character for the first.
Not even half, about 1/3 of the movie.
And Travolta's a little better at capturing Cage's essence than the other way around, right?
Well, the thing about them is they both go for that John Malkovich effeminate evil guy. You know what I mean? Like, there's some kind of an evil guy who's also very particular about things. So they both played with that. Face Off.
Face Off.
Face Off made the list.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am stunned.
We only need to get one
more.
So it seems like he is picking ones that are really about the big acting choices.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Weird ones. Maybe would he be so bold as to put Con Air on there?
No. He had the southern accent in that, which was amazing.
But it's hilarious. People were mad about it, but it's hilarious.
Put the bunny back in the box. It's almost making fun of action movies.
Yes.
And then each of the bad guys was hilariously weird.
Yes.
In it.
Yeah, and Buscemi is a child molester, and there's a scene that's supposed to be comedic of him wandering off and finding like a children's playground and just sitting there and watching the children. It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
Con Air did not.
Nah, I
make the
didn't
list.
think that would.
Oh, man. I am trying to think of a film, but then I'm like, he had a much smaller role in it, so I think he'd probably rather go large. But could it be, in his first big starring role, Valley Girl? Could Valley Girl have been there because
please say it is.
That was his breakthrough film?
I don't think it is.
I love it.
Valley Girl did not make the list.
It should make the list. He's wrong.
He's wrong about himself.
Well, I know I love the choice he made or was told to make and then committed to in Kick-Ass by doing the old school Batman.
That's an interesting call.
Forgot about
and
that.
that is something newer. I'm sure he won something from this decade.
I think that's what Kick-Ass 2 is missing is no
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
Kick-Ass did not make the list.
No.
I just like
We're
that.
all disappointed.
Now I'm starting to run out of Nic Cage.
Could it have been, and it was a smaller part, a film that he made for Francis Ford Coppola where he played the kind of renegade crazy guy in Cotton Club.
Ooh, I don't think it will be on the list, but that was an interesting movie.
Did not make the list.
He was actually one of the better things in the whole movie.
Yeah, he was unhinged.
Yeah, he was.
He was making all the trouble in that movie.
I'm trying to think of this gangster movie, and I can't. It's the guy from Miami, CI is in it. The redheaded guy.
Oh, yeah.
And at one point, he's just bench pressing somebody. His workout is bench pressing another guy.
It was with Sam Jackson, too.
Kiss of Death.
That's it. Kiss
You
of
know
Death
what?
is a remake of the classic
Yeah.
Kiss of Death.
Is that it, Chris?
That is not it.
All right, I think I've got it now.
What is
I
it?
think I've got it. Do you guys got one that you want to do before it?
I don't think so.
I'll just say this to the break of dawn, baby. Bad Lieutenant New Orleans.
Bingo. Bad Lieutenant. Port of call.
He's really over the top in that.
I loved him in that movie.
It's really one of those things that he is the best. And, I sat down and talked to him. I forget even what came out. I thought he was fascinated. For as crazy as people think that he is, I think he's doing just what you said, Doug. He makes the choices.
Yeah.
And thinks, okay, I'm not trying to recreate real life here. I'm trying to make a piece of art that's,
totally.
And it's impressive that he doesn't, think fondly of like the National Treasure movies
Right.
or anything that's like his top 4 is like respectable and also just feels like he's always been striving to do those kind of performances his whole career, and those are the ones where it worked.
He didn't put the one in where he was Meg Ryan's angel boyfriend. I mean, that didn't make the list.
I know that was also a remake of a French.
It's like a fallen angel movie.
Wim Wenders movie.
Which is great, by the way.
With Peter Falk.
Yeah,
as
Peter
himself.
Falk as himself. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
But, the thing about Nic Cage is he's been a movie star now for like over 30 years. And that starts to be Paul Newman era. You know what I mean? Like, you're just going, well, how long was Paul Newman at his top or Jimmy Cagney? Because it's a tough thing to pull off. To stay in that
the disrespect people have for Nicolas Cage saddens me because I just talking about we've had a fun conversation about the guy's career, and who else is still in movies that you can really do that with.
Exactly. How many people can you do that? Like years ago, you would do it like a Jack Nicholson or Christopher Walken, but you're not going to really sit around and start laughing when you bring up a Tom Cruise movie. He's been a 30-year movie star, but there's not that thing of what was he thinking?
Right?
How crazy was that? Here's Bruce and Delco. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie, how are you? Listen, hey, Doug.
Yeah.
His greatest role was in the same movie you were in, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He was credited as Nicholas Coppola.
Yeah,
He's
he's
one
got.
of Spicoli's
He's one of
buddy.
Spicoli's buds.
in the van. How can you not bring that up?
I don't think he's in the van. I thought that he worked at the burger thing. I thought he was.
No, he came out of the van when they pulled up in front of school.
Now I got to go back and watch that.
But he is in the burger
Of course
joint,
I
though,
gotta
right?
watch it. I got
They're
the only movie I
customers.
have on-
Yeah.
Spicoli and Eric Stoltz and Nicolas Cage all come in and they immediately take off their shirts and then they have to get yelled at.
He had a cheesy job.
Oh yeah, that was another guy.
That
He's
was,
barely in it. Like, because the other guy that has a lot of lines in the restaurant there, the character Arnold,
took all that.
Is the one that, he goes to the bathroom and then Brad Hamilton has to deal with the unruly customer and he tells him to shove it so he gets fired.
Thanks, Arnold.
Yeah. Hope you had a good piss, Arnold.
Seriously, what a great movie that is after all these years. Cameron Crowe wrote it. Apparently, he actually went undercover at a high school, wrote a bunch of shit down.
Yeah.
And they're still mad at him to this day.
Yeah, he went to a high school. I think it was Claremont High School in San Diego, and he was there for a whole year. He 21 Jump Streeted a whole year.
It's worse than having a narc.
And then he wrote a book about it, and then they adapted that. It was Amy Heckling's first movie as a director, and on set, I had no experience in being on a major movie set, but she also was hard to pick out as the person who was in charge.
Sure, because she was young too, right?
She was pretty young, but she was also just very quiet and not very didn't ever speak to the extras. Some directors do and some don't, but she never did. And I just thought I was in a silly. Me and my buddy that were both in it, we would just walk around all the time when we were talking about it, just going, Fast Times, whoop, 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 dee, dee, dee. Just making a silly theme song. We just thought it was going to be another shitty, Scott Baio kind of,
There was a million of those
high school movie.
Yeah,
we didn't know it was going to be have real sex and all these kids would grow up to be the, best actors of the generation and Spicoli was going to become a classic character. Spicoli wasn't in any of the scenes in the mall the night I was there, so I didn't even see Sean Penn or him acting that way.
Yeah,
I think he was methody already and acted like Spicoli 24/7 when they were making it.
Yeah, and he didn't really interact with a lot of the other actors even.
Yeah, he's kind of in his own weird role.
Yeah, and it was realistic that he just had his stoner buddies, and everyone was just like, "Oh, Spicoli." They'd roll his eyes whenever he'd show up late with a bagel in his pants.
I know that, dude. This is such a. It's really, really classic. And I don't know. It would be interesting to see. Did that surfer cliche exist before that movie? After that movie, they started to put a Spicoli base guy. It's almost like the Belushi character in Animal House keeps showing up in movies even today. That kind of fat party slob. But I don't know if it existed before then. Right. And I don't know whether we thought surfers, because if you go back and watch the 60s surfers movies, nobody was talking that way,
Right.
The only time he's even near a surfboard or surfing is in a dream sequence where he's being interviewed by what's that guy's name, Stu Nahan or some actual guy from ABC Sports.
Yeah,
and he's just saying all I need is a cool buzz and tasty waves. And when the movie came out, I think the studio wasn't that excited about the ensemble because the poster is just Spicoli with two girls that aren't even in the movie, in bikinis, and he's sitting in front of a surfboard. And then he never surfs in the entire movie.
But they did the same thing in Meatballs, too, with Bill Murray. They just put, two cartoon girls next to him with their tits out, and you're like, oh, I guess this is some titty summer movie.
When that movie came out, Bill Murray's brother was a programmer at a radio station in San Diego, and they gave away tickets, and I won tickets to go to the San Diego premiere of Meatballs, and Bill Murray, actually showed up.
Wow.
And, he was already, kind of huge because on SNL he caught on so big, around the same time they made Meatballs. So I was there and super happy to get to see him.
Which brother was it? Well, that was the program director back then.
I forget his name, but it was obviously not Brian Doyle Murray, or not the acting ones.
Yeah,
he's got a bunch.
He's got 5 brothers.
There's a big family of brothers. Yeah, and one of them it was a KGB rock station, FM rock station in San Diego.
That's actually a pretty big station, right? It was the big heritage station there, right? The big rock station.
At that time, it was a big deal. Every time I went to some sort of movie preview or a concert or something, they were, involved in it. That genre of music was actually the most popular music at that time. Now it's, I'm pretty sure the station still exists, but they call it classic rock.
Right. But then it was just rock. There was no reason to even classic it.
Yeah, we're classic.
But,
it's gonna be classic.
New classics. But, he'd done that golfing kind of show with all of his brothers, even the ones that weren't actors. I forget what it was called, In the Hole or something. He got 1 year on E or something.
It was Comedy Central.
Was it Comedy
Yeah.
Central that had it? Yeah.
The Sweet Spot.
Yeah,
was
the
name.
Sweet Spot. So that thing, like when it always looked like you might be in trouble with the Murray brothers when they get together. You know what I mean? Like you would see there. Well, Joel Murray did that great Bobcat movie, God Bless America.
Mhm. Yeah.
He was amazing in that, and he came in. I was interviewing Bobcat, and he was in the audience, and then we brought him up, and he does an amazing Brian Doyle Murray impression, and then he does a pretty good Bill Murray. And I was talking about when the brothers all got together, like who was always lead dog, who was the funny one, and he goes like this to me. Well, Bill Murray was always pretty funny around that. And it was like one of those things of why would I even? I was hoping to hear he's not even the funniest one, but he just like Bill Murray was always pretty funny.
It's a big surprise.
Yeah, it was tough for the rest of us. Hey, Pit Doc has got a HBO question. What's up, dude?
Yeah, Spy Report.
Spy Report.
Just got a report that they're going to do a miniseries on Showtime of Patti Smith, early 70s and late 60s and early 70s.
Based on that book that she wrote?
Yeah, she could do the book, and she's going to write the script. But the guy who did Penny Dreadful for Showtime is going to be doing it. It's going to be a miniseries. Now, who plays her is the question.
That's a really good
That'd be
question
a tough one.
because there's no working actress today that can get away with looking like her
There's
just
only
on the regular.
one I can think of, the one who played the girl with the dragon tattoo, Rooney Mara.
Oh,
that's the only one I can think of. Everybody else is too
That's
old.
a good call, really.
she can ugly it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Ryan.
All right, see you later, man. There is another documentary. I'm going to talk to the guy later. It's called Danny Says, and it's about that whole New York punk scene. Actually started with the Doors in L.A., but then was there for the Ramones and New York Dolls. It was like a really wide open version of New York. Like anything could happen. You could get laid, you could get drugs, or you might get killed and run into like great bands all the time. It was like, it's so different now.
And it's about Danny Fields, who's just like one of those characters who like was fearless enough to get himself involved in everything.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You just show up and you're like, yeah, I'll be your manager, or
right.
I'll do that.
I had read about him in a Doors book, Ramones book. He's one. You ever like read different things and you're like, why is this dude's name coming up?
Right.
Again, he's one of those guys.
He was just at the right place all the time.
All the time, or made it the right place. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of those guys like, let's get something organized. This is going to be the right place right here where we are. Let's set some shit up.
I guess that's it now.
Because he was like in Warhol. Like, I'm reading about Warhol and Danny Fields would pop up in there. It's crazy how that happens with some people. The documentary film that our buddy Doug Benson, it's out now on...
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Previously, it had been on, VOD and, all the other things out there, like iTunes and stuff, and people would write to me on Twitter every day. But when's it going to be on Netflix? Because everybody just wants, they're already paying for Netflix,
Right.
so they want to just show up there so it'll be free. And I had to always say, I don't know, because Netflix is a mysterious organization that I didn't know if or when it would the movie would show up there. But then eventually they acquired it, and it's there now, and people are watching it, and so far it seems like they all love it. So I'm very, very happy about that.
Well, this is all the people that didn't want to give you $3.99. They love you, but they did not want to part with $3.99.
They just waited it out. It's and sometimes it's worth the wait.
I like to wait till things come to basic cable. I wait to TBS, and I'm like, I really want to see this.
Yeah, you really need the commercial breaks
Yeah.
and edit it for content. Like on airplanes now, sometimes the movies are just straight up, like not ones that they show to the entire plane on screens that are
Right.
up above. But if you have your own personal screen, it can pick from some movies. It's generally the movies just they just play them as is. But there's
Right.
still some that are on the personal screens that were edited because the airline received that version or something. I don't know how it works. But if at the very beginning it says edited for content, I turn it off immediately because I don't
Right.
want to watch the version that's been changed in any way. I just want to see the movie as it's supposed to be seen, which is why to this day I haven't seen Vince Vaughn in Unfinished Business because it's the perfect movie to watch on a plane. But every time I'm on a plane and go to turn it on, it says edited for content. I'm like, I think the swearing's probably the best thing that this movie's got going for it.
Now that you can do the individual things, I do miss that thing of looking up in a plane, like if you're sitting in back and seeing all the same, and you're like, how weird is this? We're all watching the same movie in a plane together, and then sometimes you could look over and laugh at each other. Like you and
you can have a laugh together if you're watching something funny.
This is great, right? In a plane, we're watching this.
Doug's new documentary, Chronic Con, episode 420, A New Dope, is available now on Netflix, and tickets are now available for Doug Loves Movies, The 12 Guests of Christmas at the Gramercy Theater in New York City, happening November 30th. Go to DougLovesMovies.com for more information.
Yeah, the 12 guest show will be the second annual. And normally, Doug Loves Movies, I have like 3, 4, maybe 5 guests.
Yeah.
But I just started doing this thing in LA a few years back where I just would get 12 guests and have them out on stage playing a massive trivia game, but they're all mostly comics, so it's just out of control. It's just ridiculous and impossible to rein everybody in. And then I did one in New York last year, so this is going to be the second annual New York one, and I'm real excited about that.
Pretty much whores in a church when you try to pull them all together. Just
well, I only give the 12 of them have to share 3 mics just to keep. But then they keep saying stuff off mic that's hilarious.
Right?
They don't know how to wait until they get the mic in their hand. So it ends up being a really fun experience for the live audience because the home listeners are going to miss some of it.
Yeah, sure, you have to. Because there's just too many people. Good to see you again, buddy.
Thanks. It's always good to see you guys.
And best of luck with everything. We'll see you next time coming through. Good picks on the Nic Cage. You came in. Yeah, you were the major Nic Cage. So if we were giving out a prize,
Doug Benson.
Yeah, Doug would win today.
That was a fun game. I wish all actors would list their top 5 favorite movies and then we could guess.
Now I want him to do 4 movies that he really hates.
Oh, hell yeah.
Why did I do that? The Nic Cage story.
Knowing.
Yeah.
Wicker Man.
Wicker Man. Oh, my God.
All right, that's it for us today, and we'll see you all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!